In the spring of the 1930s, amidst the Great Depression and the looming specter of war, Lancaster County, PA, was cloaked in a shroud of darkness. Times were tough, and families struggled to make ends meet. Yet, amidst the hardship, there was a glimmer of joy for the children who found solace in the simple pleasures offered by the variety of traveling circuses that made their way through the county. The dusty roads leading into Lancaster City would often see the arrival of colorful wagons and tents, heralding the arrival of the circus. Children would gather eagerly, their faces alight with excitement as they awaited the spectacle that promised to momentarily whisk them away from the harsh realities of their daily lives. The circus brought with it a sense of wonder and enchantment, offering an escape from the grimness of the times. The air was filled with the scent of popcorn and cotton candy, and the sound of laughter and awe echoed through the streets as families flocked to witness the dazzling feats of acrobats, the majestic presence of exotic animals, and the whimsical antics of clowns. Among the attractions of the traveling circus was a humble yet charming puppet show, tucked away in a corner of the fairgrounds. It was here that a young puppeteer named Henry Vanjik plied his trade, mesmerizing audiences with his intricate marionettes and captivating storytelling. Despite the darkness that loomed over Lancaster County, the circus brought a brief reprieve, offering a glimmer of hope and magic to those who sought refuge within its colorful confines. Little did they know, however, that amidst the laughter and applause, something sinister lurked in the shadows, waiting to emerge and cast a long, chilling shadow over the city. Among the children of Lancaster City, there was a young boy named William Afton, whose eyes sparkled with wonder whenever he laid eyes on the trained circus bear named Fredbear. William was drawn to the magnificent creature, finding solace and companionship in its gentle demeanor. While other children marveled at the acrobats and clowns, William was content to spend hours watching Fredbear perform his tricks, his heart swelling with admiration for the majestic creature. He would eagerly await each performance, his face pressed against the barrier separating him from the bear, his imagination running wild with tales of adventure and friendship. In Fredbear, William found a kindred spirit, a silent companion who seemed to understand him in ways that no one else could. Together, they forged a bond that transcended the boundaries of language, communicating through shared glances and gestures. As the days passed, William's fascination with Fredbear only deepened, and he would often sneak away from his chores to spend time with his beloved friend. In the presence of the bear, the weight of the world seemed to lift from his shoulders, and for a fleeting moment, he could forget the struggles that plagued his family and the uncertainty that loomed over their future. Little did William know that his affinity for Fredbear would set into motion a chain of events that would alter the course of his life and the fate of Lancaster City forever. As William Afton grew into adulthood, navigating the tumultuous years of the post-war era, he found himself searching for his true calling in life. It wasn't until the 1950s that he had a revelation, a singular goal that ignited a fire within him, to spread joy and laughter in a world still reeling from the scars of war. Inspired by the fond memories of the old circus shows from his childhood and his cherished friendship with Fredbear, William embarked on a quest to recreate the magic of those bygone days. While he lacked the means to set up a full-fledged circus, he possessed a talent that would prove to be equally enchanting. He was a gifted costume maker. Drawing upon his memories of Fredbear, William painstakingly crafted a lifelike bear costume, capturing every detail with meticulous precision. With the costume complete, he set out to share his creation with the world, donning the guise of Fredbear and taking to the streets to put on his own little shows. Armed with nothing but his passion for bringing smiles to the faces of others, William transformed into the lovable bear, delighting children and adults alike with his whimsical performances. Whether it was entertaining at birthday parties, school events, or community gatherings, William poured his heart and soul into his role as Fredbear, channeling the spirit of the circus into every performance. Despite the challenges and hardships he faced along the way, William remained steadfast in his mission, spreading joy and happiness wherever he went. Little did he know, however, that his innocent endeavor would soon take a dark and twisted turn, unleashing a nightmare that would haunt the streets of Lancaster City for years to come. As William Afton's performances as Fredbear gained popularity and acclaim, he began to catch the eye of local businesses and event organizers. His talent for bringing joy and entertainment to audiences of all ages soon translated into financial success, and with each performance, he inched closer to realizing his dream of spreading happiness throughout Lancaster City. With the funds he earned from his appearances as Fredbear, William set his sights on expanding his repertoire. Drawing upon his creative instincts and boundless imagination, he embarked on a new endeavor to create his own original character, one that would capture the hearts of audiences just as Fredbear had done. Inspired by the success of his Fredbear persona and the desire to offer something fresh and unique, William poured his energy into designing and crafting a new costume. Combining elements of whimsy, charm, and a touch of mischief, he brought to life his vision of Bonnie the Bunny, a lovable, mischievous rabbit with a penchant for adventure. The creation of Bonnie the Bunny marked a significant milestone in William's journey, representing not only his artistic growth but also his determination to carve out his own path in the world of entertainment. With his new costume in tow, he set out to introduce Bonnie to the world, weaving tales of wonder and excitement that captivated audiences far and wide. As Bonnie the Bunny, William embarked on a new chapter of his career, enchanting audiences with his boundless energy, infectious enthusiasm, and irrepressible charm. With each performance, he cemented his reputation as a master entertainer, beloved by children and adults alike for his ability to transport them to a world of imagination and delight. Little did William know, however, that the success he had worked so hard to achieve would soon become entangled in a web of darkness and despair, as forces beyond his control threatened to unravel everything he had built. As the 1960s dawned upon Lancaster City, William Afton found himself joined by a new ally in his quest to spread joy and laughter to the masses. Enter Henry, a talented inventor with a penchant for the whimsical and the extraordinary. Henry had long been a fan of William's performances as Fredbear and Bonnie the Bunny, and he saw great potential in their unique brand of entertainment. With a twinkle in his eye and a spark of creativity in his soul, Henry approached William with a bold proposition to take their shows to the next level by opening a place where people could come together to enjoy their performances while indulging in delicious food. His vision was clear: a pizzeria that would serve as the perfect backdrop for their acts as Bonnie and Fredbear. William was initially hesitant, unsure of whether their humble performances could sustain such an ambitious venture. However, Henry's enthusiasm and ingenuity proved to be infectious, and before long, William found himself drawn into his friend's grand scheme. Together, William and Henry began to brainstorm ideas for their pizzeria, envisioning a vibrant and inviting space where families could gather to enjoy good food, great entertainment, and unforgettable memories. They poured their hearts and souls into every detail, from the decor and menu offerings to the layout and ambience of the establishment. At the heart of their vision was the concept of bringing their beloved characters, Bonnie and Fred Bear, to life in a whole new way. The pizzeria would serve as a stage for their performances, with animatronic versions of Bonnie and Fred Bear delighting patrons with their antics and musical numbers. With Henry's inventive genius and William's unwavering dedication, the dream of opening a pizzeria became a reality. And thus, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was born, a place where magic and wonder intertwined with delicious food and endless entertainment, promising an experience unlike any other in Lancaster City. Little did they know, however, that their creation would soon become the focal point of a nightmare beyond their wildest imaginings. Inspired by the success of their pizzeria and fueled by William's insatiable ambition, the co-owners of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, William and Henry, sought to take their establishment to new heights. They recognized the potential for growth in their business, but were mindful of the costs associated with hiring additional staff. Determined to find a solution that would allow them to expand their operations without breaking the bank, William turned to Henry and his inventive prowess for guidance. Drawing inspiration from other establishments in the area, such as the Mediocre Melodies, which utilized animatronics to entertain patrons, William proposed a revolutionary idea to create suits that could double as animatronics. This would not only streamline their performances but also reduce the need for additional staff, thus maximizing their profits in the long run. Eager to rise to the challenge, Henry set to work, pouring his creativity and technical expertise into designing the groundbreaking spring lock suits. These innovative creations were a marvel of engineering, combining the flexibility and mobility of traditional costumes with the advanced mechanics of animatronic technology. The spring lock suits were designed to be worn by William and Henry during their performances as Bonnie and Fred Bear, allowing them to seamlessly transition between their roles as entertainers and operators of the animatronics. With a few simple adjustments, they could step out of the suits and let the robotic insides take over, captivating audiences with their lifelike movements and enchanting performances. As word spread of their groundbreaking invention, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza became known not only for its delicious food and entertaining shows but also for its cutting-edge animatronic technology. Patrons marveled at the lifelike movements of Bonnie and Fred Bear, unaware of the intricate machinery hidden beneath the surface. The spring lock suits proved to be a game changer for William and Henry, propelling Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to even greater success and solidifying their place in the annals of entertainment history. Little did they know, however, that their revolutionary invention would soon become the catalyst for a series of dark and chilling events that would rock Lancaster City to its core. As the years passed and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza flourished, William Afton and Henry found themselves not only business partners but also devoted family men. In the warmth of their homes, they watched their children grow, each one a testament to the love and dedication they poured into their respective roles as fathers. In the Afton household, William and his wife welcomed 3 children into their lives. The eldest, a son named Michael, was a bright and adventurous boy who inherited his father's spirit of curiosity and ambition. Next came Norman, the middle child, whose gentle nature and creative spark brought joy to the family. And finally, there was Elizabeth, the youngest and most precocious of the Afton children, whose boundless energy and infectious laughter filled their home with light. Across town, in the cozy embrace of the Henry household, Henry and his wife were blessed with a daughter named Emily. Spirited and imaginative, Emily was a constant source of delight for her parents, her curiosity and enthusiasm for life reminding them of the beauty and wonder of the world. Despite the demands of running Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, William and Henry always made time for their families, cherishing every moment spent together and reveling in the love and laughter that filled their homes. Whether it was sharing meals around the dinner table, embarking on weekend adventures, or simply enjoying quiet moments of togetherness, they treasured the bonds that united them as a family. Little did they know, however, that the shadows looming over Lancaster City would soon cast a dark pall over their lives, threatening to shatter the peace and happiness they had worked so hard to cultivate. As their children grew and their destinies intertwined, they would find themselves drawn into a web of mystery and intrigue that would challenge their bonds and test their courage in ways they never imagined possible. As Michael Afton grew older, his personality began to diverge from the noble traits of his father, William. Despite inheriting his father's spirit of ambition and curiosity, Michael's journey took a darker turn, veering away from the path of kindness and compassion. As the eldest sibling, Michael wielded his position with a sense of entitlement, viewing himself as superior to his younger brother, Norman. Over time, this superiority complex manifested into a pattern of bullying behavior, with Michael constantly berating and belittling his younger sibling. Fueled by insecurities and a desire to assert his dominance, Michael took pleasure in tormenting Norman, exploiting any perceived weakness to bolster his own ego. Whether it was through verbal taunts, physical intimidation, or psychological manipulation, he made it his mission to assert his dominance and maintain control over his brother. Despite his father's efforts to instill values of empathy and compassion within him, Michael's heart grew hardened by resentment and jealousy, blinding him to the pain and suffering he inflicted upon his brother. His actions not only strained the bond between the siblings but also cast a shadow over the Afton household, threatening to unravel the harmony that once defined their family. As Norman struggled to cope with the relentless torment inflicted upon him by his brother, the rift between them widened, leaving both boys trapped in a cycle of animosity and resentment. Little did they know, however, that their tumultuous relationship would soon become entangled in a web of darkness and despair, as the secrets lurking within Freddy Fazbear's Pizza began to unravel, setting into motion a series of events that would forever alter the course of their lives. In the days leading up to Norman's birthday, tension hung thick in the air at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the result of a long and arduous week filled with unexpected challenges and setbacks. The animatronics had been acting up, their movements becoming increasingly erratic and unpredictable, causing concern among the staff and patrons alike. Despite their best efforts to address the issue, the underlying sense of unease lingered, casting a shadow over the normally festive atmosphere of the pizzeria. As Norman's birthday approached, his excitement was palpable, a ray of light amidst the gloom that had settled over the establishment. His parents had spared no expense in planning the perfect celebration, eager to shower him with love and affection on his special day. The party was in full swing, with laughter and chatter filling the air as children darted around the arcade games and enjoyed slices of pizza topped with colorful balloons and streamers. Norman's eyes sparkled with delight as he opened his presents, his joy infectious as he reveled in the attention lavished upon him by his friends and family. Amidst the festivities, however, a dark cloud loomed on the horizon, heralding the arrival of tragedy. Unbeknownst to the partygoers, a sinister prank was about to unfold, orchestrated by none other than Michael, whose jealousy and resentment had reached a boiling point. With a mischievous glint in his eye, Michael seized the opportunity to play a cruel joke on his younger brother, luring him towards the inactive spring Glock suit known as Fredbear. Ignoring Norman's protests and pleas for mercy, he positioned him in front of the open mouth of the suit, intent on scaring him for his own amusement. But fate had other plans in store, as the timer for the spring Glock mechanism suddenly went off, triggering a chain of events that would end in tragedy. In the blink of an eye, the spring snapped into place, closing the jaws of Fredbear around Norman's frail body, trapping him within the confines of the suit. Panic erupted as screams pierced the air, the party descending into chaos as horrified onlookers watched in horror as Norman was whisked away to the hospital, his life hanging in the balance. Despite the desperate efforts of the medical staff, it was clear that his injuries were too severe, and he slipped away from this world, leaving behind a shattered family and a community reeling from the senseless tragedy that had unfolded before their eyes. The bite of 1983 would forever be etched into the annals of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the beloved establishment and the devastating consequences of jealousy and cruelty. And for Michael, the weight of guilt and remorse would haunt him for the rest of his days, a constant reminder of the innocent life he had taken with his thoughtless actions. Devastated by the tragic events of the bite of 1983, William Afton made the difficult decision to temporarily close down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, his heart heavy with grief and remorse. In the wake of the accident, he couldn't bear to continue operating the establishment, haunted by the memories of the loss that had befallen his family. With a heavy heart, William locked away the spring Glock suits, sealing them in a hidden chamber deep within the bowels of the pizzeria, a silent testament to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. He and Emily, still reeling from the loss of Norman, made the decision to retire suit-based characters altogether, determined to ensure that no other child would suffer the same fate as their beloved son. Together, William and Henry embarked on a new chapter, pouring their energies into designing a new generation of animatronics that would serve as the centerpiece of the revamped Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. These animatronics would be bolted to the floor, devoid of any spring Glock mechanisms or suit modes, ensuring the safety of both performers and patrons alike. The new animatronics were a departure from the whimsical designs of their predecessors, taking on a more modern and streamlined aesthetic. Freddy Fazbear, the beloved mascot of the pizzeria, was reimagined as a brown bear, exuding warmth and charm with his friendly smile and welcoming demeanor. Bonnie, the blue bunny, radiated energy and enthusiasm, his playful antics delighting audiences of all ages. Chica, the yellow chicken, brought a splash of color and cheer to the stage, her infectious enthusiasm contagious as she danced and sang alongside her fellow animatronics. And last but not least, Foxy the pirate fox, with his swashbuckling charm and roguish grin, added a touch of excitement and adventure to the lineup. With their new animatronics in place, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza reopened its doors to the public, signaling a fresh start for the beleaguered establishment. Though the wounds of the past would never fully heal, William and Henry remained determined to honor Norman's memory by creating a safe and welcoming space where families could come together to enjoy good food, great entertainment, and unforgettable memories. And as they looked towards the future, they prayed that tragedy would never again darken the halls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As Freddy Fazbear's Pizza expanded its reach throughout Lancaster County, PA, William Afton's vision for the establishment evolved, giving rise to new and exciting ventures that captivated audiences far and wide. Among the most notable additions to the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza franchise was Circus Baby Pizza, a dazzling new restaurant that promised to take patrons on a thrilling journey through the world of entertainment. At Circus Baby Pizza, guests were treated to a spectacle unlike any other, with a cast of animatronic performers known as the Funtime Animatronics taking center stage. Led by the enigmatic Circus Baby, whose grace and elegance captivated audiences with her mesmerizing performances, the Funtime Animatronics dazzled with their unique talents and personalities. Funtime Foxy, with his charming charisma and quick wit, delighted guests with his playful antics and infectious energy, while Ballora, the graceful ballerina, entranced audiences with her elegant dance routines and ethereal beauty. Joining the ranks of the Funtime Animatronics were Funtime Freddy and Puppet Bonnie, a dynamic duo whose comedic banter and endearing antics brought laughter and joy to guests of all ages. And completing the lineup was Funtime Chica, a vibrant and cheerful addition to the group, whose infectious enthusiasm and boundless energy added a splash of color to the stage. Together, the Funtime Animatronics captivated audiences with their dazzling performances, drawing crowds from near and far to experience the magic of Circus Baby Pizza firsthand. With each show, they transported guests to a world of wonder and excitement, leaving them breathless with anticipation for what would come next. As Circus Baby Pizza flourished, William Afton's dream of creating a truly immersive entertainment experience became a reality, cementing his legacy as a pioneer in the world of animatronic entertainment. And as the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza franchise continued to grow and evolve, the spirit of innovation and creativity that fueled its success lived on, ensuring that the magic of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza would endure for generations to come. Amidst the bustling landscape of Lancaster County, PA, a new haven for children emerged, destined to become a beloved destination for fun and adventure. Freddy Jr.'s, a kid-exclusive spot, welcomed young visitors with open arms, offering a whimsical retreat where kids could be kids and let their imaginations run wild. Inspired by the playful spirit of childhood, Freddy Jr.'s was designed as a funhouse and jungle gym extravaganza, brimming with colorful attractions and interactive play areas. From towering slides and ball pits to maze-like obstacle courses and arcade games, the establishment was a paradise for children, promising endless hours of laughter and excitement. At the heart of Freddy Jr.'s were the toy animatronics, a delightful cast of characters beloved by children and adults alike. Led by the affable toy Freddy, whose friendly smile and gentle demeanor endeared him to guests of all ages, the toy animatronics brought joy and laughter to every corner of the establishment. Toy Bonnie, with his playful antics and boundless energy, charmed visitors with his whimsical performances and mischievous personality, while Toy Chica, with her bright yellow feathers and cheerful disposition, added a splash of color and cheer to the festivities. Joining the ranks of the toy animatronics was Mangle, a makeshift customizable animatronic that sparked the imaginations of young visitors with its unique design and endless possibilities for creative play. With its modular limbs and interchangeable parts, Mangle was a favorite among children, who delighted in customizing their own unique creations. And last but not least was the puppet, a mysterious and enigmatic figure whose presence added an air of magic and wonder to Freddy Jr.'s. With its hauntingly beautiful music and mesmerizing movements, the puppet captivated audiences with its ethereal charm, weaving tales of adventure and imagination that captured the hearts of all who encountered it. Together, the toy animatronics and the puppet brought the spirit of Freddy Jr.'s to life, creating memories that would last a lifetime for the children who passed through its doors. And as the laughter echoed through the halls of the establishment, it became clear that Freddy Jr.'s was more than just a place to play. It was a sanctuary of joy and wonder, where dreams came true and imagination knew no bounds. Indeed, the three locations, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Circus Baby Pizza, and Freddy Jr.'s, proved to be resounding successes for William Afton, Henry, and Emily. Despite the trials and tribulations they faced along the way, their perseverance and dedication to their vision paid off, transforming their humble beginnings into a thriving empire of entertainment. With each passing year, the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza franchise continued to grow and evolve, attracting legions of loyal fans and becoming a beloved fixture in the community. Whether it was the timeless charm of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the dazzling spectacle of Circus Baby Pizza, or the whimsical wonderland of Freddy Jr.'s, each location offered something unique and special, drawing visitors from far and wide to experience the magic firsthand. As the years went by, William, Henry, and Emily watched with pride as their establishments became beloved landmarks in Lancaster County, PA, cherished by generations of families who passed through their doors. Together, they forged a legacy of creativity, innovation, and joy, leaving an indelible mark on the world of entertainment and forever changing the landscape of their beloved city. But amidst the success and celebration, dark forces continued to lurk in the shadows, their presence casting a pall over the happiness and tranquility that William, Henry, and Emily had worked so hard to achieve. And as they looked towards the future, they knew that the challenges they faced would only grow greater, and that the true test of their mettle lay ahead. But for now, they reveled in the triumphs of the present, grateful for the moments of joy and laughter they had shared, and hopeful for the adventures that lay ahead. The night of 1986 at Circus Baby Pizza began like any other, with the air buzzing with excitement as patrons filed into the establishment, eager to witness the mesmerizing performances of the Funtime animatronics. Among the crowd was Elizabeth Afton, the youngest daughter of William Afton, her eyes wide with wonder as she gazed up at the towering figure of Circus Baby. In her innocence and curiosity, Elizabeth ventured too close to the stage during one of Circus Baby's performances, drawn in by the allure of the animatronic's graceful movements and captivating presence. Unbeknownst to her, Circus Baby, programmed to entertain and delight, mistook the young girl for a prop, her mechanical sensors unable to differentiate between human and object. In a tragic turn of events, Circus Baby's mechanical arms reached out to grasp Elizabeth, her delicate frame no match for the powerful machinery within. In an instant, the joyous atmosphere of the pizzeria was shattered, replaced by screams of horror and anguish as patrons and staff alike watched in horror as the unthinkable unfolded before their eyes. Despite the frantic efforts of William Afton and the Circus Baby Pizza staff to intervene, it was too late. Elizabeth's brief life was cut short, her innocence extinguished in a moment of unimaginable tragedy. For William Afton, the loss of another child was a devastating blow, shattering the fragile peace he had fought so hard to preserve in the wake of Norman's death. As grief and despair threatened to consume him, he made the difficult decision to close Circus Baby Pizza indefinitely, the memories of the tragedy too painful to bear. The events of that fateful night would haunt William Afton for the rest of his days, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the world he had helped to create. And as he grappled with the weight of his grief and guilt, he knew that the shadows that loomed over him would never truly fade, casting a pall over his soul that could never be lifted. As William Afton withdrew from the business and descended into madness, consumed by grief and rage, his once brilliant mind twisted into darkness and despair. Blinded by his overwhelming desire for vengeance, he became fixated on his eldest son, Michael, whom he blamed for the tragedies that had befallen his family. In a twisted bid for retribution, William set about creating a new breed of animatronics, nightmarish abominations born from the depths of his tortured psyche. These nightmare animatronics were grotesque amalgamations of metal and flesh, their twisted forms a reflection of William's fractured mind. Night after night, for weeks on end, William unleashed his creations upon Michael's home, their malevolent presence haunting him at every turn. No matter where Michael went, the nightmare animatronics pursued him relentlessly, their hollow eyes burning with malice as they sought to torment and terrorize their prey. With each passing night, Michael's sanity frayed at the edges, his mind gripped by a primal fear unlike anything he had ever known. The relentless onslaught of the nightmare animatronics left him sleepless and paranoid, his once peaceful home transformed into a living nightmare from which there was no escape. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Michael's grip on reality began to slip, his psyche crumbling under the weight of his father's twisted vendetta. Haunted by visions of his past and tormented by the specter of his father's wrath, he found himself trapped in a waking nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. But even as the darkness closed in around him, Michael refused to succumb to despair. With every ounce of strength he could muster, he fought against the forces that sought to consume him, determined to break free from the grip of madness and reclaim his life from the clutches of darkness. Little did he know, however, that the true horror had only just begun, and that the nightmare that had descended upon him was far from over. As the shadows closed in around him, Michael braced himself for the battle that lay ahead, knowing that only by confronting the darkness within could he hope to emerge from the abyss unscathed. As the year 1987 rolled around, the dark cloud of tragedy continued to loom over Lancaster County, PA, casting a pall over the once vibrant city. At Freddie Jr.'s, the beloved kid-exclusive spot, festivities were in full swing as children and families gathered to celebrate a joyous occasion. Unbeknownst to the unsuspecting guests, William Afton, consumed by his insatiable thirst for revenge, had tampered with the Mangle animatronic, rigging it to lash out with deadly force if anyone ventured too close. The animatronic, once a beloved fixture of Freddie Jr.'s, had been transformed into a weapon of destruction, poised to strike at the slightest provocation. As the night wore on and the party reached its peak, tragedy struck with devastating force. A security guard, tasked with ensuring the safety of the guests, unknowingly wandered too close to the Mangle animatronic, triggering its deadly mechanism. In a horrifying flash of metal and blood, the bite of 87 occurred, leaving the security guard gravely injured and the guests in a state of shock and disbelief. Panic erupted as screams filled the air, the once festive atmosphere of Freddy Jr.'s giving way to chaos and confusion. Amidst the chaos, William Afton watched from the shadows, his twisted grin betraying the darkness that lurked within his soul. For William, the bite of 87 was the culmination of his twisted vendetta against those he perceived as responsible for his suffering. In his mind, the tragedy was a fitting punishment for the perceived sins of his enemies, a grim reminder of the power he wielded over life and death. But as the dust settled and the full extent of the carnage became clear, William's victory rang hollow, his soul consumed by the emptiness of his own darkness. And as he gazed upon the wreckage he had wrought, he knew that no amount of vengeance could ever fill the void that gnawed at his heart, leaving him forever haunted by the specter of his own depravity. As chaos and tragedy continued to grip Freddy Jr.'s in the aftermath of the bite of 87, the owners and staff struggled to keep the establishment afloat, desperate to salvage what remained of their once beloved haven for children. But despite their best efforts, the dark shadow of William Afton loomed over them, his presence a constant threat that could not be ignored. Unbeknownst to the unsuspecting owners and staff, William Afton had infiltrated Freddy Jr.'s once again, driven by a twisted desire to unleash his wrath upon the world. In the depths of the establishment, he found his old costume hidden away, a relic of a bygone era stained with blood and memories of past atrocities. With grim determination, William donned the Spring Bonnie costume once more, his mind consumed by madness as he waited for the perfect moment to strike. And when the curtains rose on the next day's show, the audience of unsuspecting children found themselves face to face with a nightmare beyond their wildest imaginations. As the animatronics failed to materialize, confusion and fear gripped the crowd, their innocent laughter giving way to cries of terror as Spring Bonnie emerged from the shadows, a specter of death and destruction looming over them. With mechanical precision, William unleashed a deadly performance unlike anything the world had ever seen, his twisted grin betraying the darkness that lurked within his soul. By the time the curtains fell and the show came to an end, the damage had been done, leaving behind a trail of devastation in its wake. As William fled the scene, his dark laughter echoing in the empty halls of Freddy Jr.'s, he knew that his reign of terror was far from over. With the Spring Bonnie suit safely hidden away in the original location of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a grim reminder of the horrors that had unfolded, William disappeared into the night, leaving behind a city in mourning and a legacy of fear that would haunt Lancaster County for years to come. And as the sun set on another day, the darkness that had taken root in the heart of William Afton continued to spread, casting a shadow over the world that could never be lifted. In the depths of his madness and despair, William Afton descended even further into darkness, consumed by a twisted desire for retribution and revenge. Returning to the site of his greatest loss, Circus Baby Pizza, he embarked on a depraved quest to claim the lives of more innocent victims, their souls destined to become pawns in his twisted game of torment and suffering. With cold, calculating precision, William stalked his prey, luring 5 unsuspecting children into the depths of the pizzeria with promises of fun and excitement. But beneath the facade of innocence lurked a malevolent intent, as William's true intentions became clear. Cornering his victims in the shadows, William subjected them to unspeakable horrors, their terrified screams echoing through the empty halls of Circus Baby Pizza. With cruel efficiency, He forced the children into the waiting arms of the fun-time suits, their frail bodies twisted and contorted to fit the mechanical exoskeletons within. As the children writhed in agony, their souls trapped within the cold embrace of the animatronics, William reveled in his newfound power, his laughter echoing in the darkness as he watched his victims suffer. For him, each tortured scream was a symphony of madness, a testament to the depths of his depravity and the darkness that lurked within his soul. But even as William basked in the chaos and despair he had wrought, a flicker of humanity remained buried deep within his tortured psyche. In moments of fleeting clarity, he was haunted by the faces of his victims, their innocent eyes pleading for mercy in the face of unspeakable cruelty. Yet, in the end, his thirst for vengeance proved stronger than any semblance of remorse, as he embraced the darkness that consumed him, forever lost to the abyss. And as he disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair, the echoes of his crimes reverberated through the halls of Circus Baby Pizza, a grim reminder of the horrors that lurked within the heart of man. In a final, heinous act of depravity, William Afton's descent into madness reached its zenith as he unleashed a wave of unspeakable horror upon the unsuspecting victims of his twisted vendetta. With cold, calculating precision, he targeted the daughter of his friend Henry, along with her friend Cassidy, and 3 other innocent children, dragging them into the dark depths of the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As the children pleaded for mercy, their cries falling on deaf ears, William's eyes burned with madness and malice, his soul consumed by a darkness that knew no bounds. With savage glee, he forced his victims into the waiting arms of the animatronic suits, their frail bodies crushed and contorted by the merciless machinery within. But it was Cassidy, the lone survivor among the group, who would suffer the greatest torment of all. With a twisted grin plastered across his face, William subjected Cassidy to a fate worse than death, sealing him within the Spring Freddy suit and triggering the spring locks with a flick of his wrist. The screams of agony that echoed through the empty halls of the pizzeria were a symphony of madness, a testament to the depths of William's depravity and the savagery of his soul. As Cassidy's life was snuffed out in a torrent of blood and gore, the darkness that had consumed William Afton claimed its final victim, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair in its wake. As the echoes of his crimes faded into the night, the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza stood as a monument to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls, a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked within the hearts of men. And as William Afton disappeared into the shadows, his legacy of terror lived on, casting a long shadow over the city of Lancaster County, PA, forever tainted by the stain of his madness. As the darkness of William Afton's depravity spread like a poison throughout Lancaster County, PA, the city became gripped by fear and paranoia in the wake of the unspeakable horrors that had unfolded within the walls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. 35 innocent children, their lives snuffed out in a torrent of violence and despair, became tragic victims of Afton's twisted vendetta, their fates forever sealed within the cold embrace of the animatronic suits. Yet, despite the best efforts of law enforcement and the media, the truth behind the disappearances remained shrouded in mystery, a dark stain on the city's conscience that could not be erased. No one knew who was responsible for the atrocities that had claimed the lives of so many innocent souls, nor did they know the whereabouts of the missing children who had vanished without a trace. In the absence of answers, rumors and speculation ran rampant, feeding the fears of a terrified populace and fueling the fires of suspicion that burned within the hearts of those who sought justice for the victims. But try as they might, the authorities could find no evidence to connect the disappearances to any one individual, leaving the case of the missing children of Freddie's shrouded in uncertainty and doubt. Meanwhile, William Afton lurked in the shadows, a silent observer of the chaos and despair that he had wrought upon the world. With a twisted grin plastered across his face, he reveled in the knowledge that he alone held the key to the truth, his dark secrets buried deep within the recesses of his tortured mind. And as the city of Lancaster County grappled with the aftermath of the tragedy that had befallen it, the missing children of Freddie's became a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of their once peaceful community. Their memory lived on in the hearts of those who mourned them, a testament to the innocence lost and the evil that lurked within the hearts of men. But for William Afton, their suffering was merely a prelude to the horrors yet to come, as he continued his descent into madness and depravity, forever haunted by the specter of his own twisted legacy. As the curtains closed on Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, marking the end of an era tainted by darkness and despair, William Afton stood as the sole proprietor of the once thriving establishment, his grip on the reins of power unchallenged and his secrets buried deep within the walls of his abandoned empire. With Henry's departure from the business, Afton seized control with an iron fist, ensuring that his crimes remained hidden from prying eyes and that the truth would never see the light of day. Under Afton's watchful gaze, the animatronic suits were carefully stored away in their various locations, hidden from the world as silent witnesses to the horrors that had unfolded within their midst. Security guards were stationed at each abandoned location, their orders clear: keep intruders at bay and safeguard Afton's dark secrets at all costs. For those who dared to seek answers, the abandoned remnants of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza stood as silent monuments to the mysteries that lay buried within their walls. But try as they might, investigators and curious onlookers alike found themselves thwarted at every turn, their efforts to uncover the truth stymied by Afton's cunning and deceit. And so, as the years passed and the memories of the missing children of Freddy's faded into obscurity, Afton's crimes remained hidden from the world, their true extent known only to him and the silent guardians that bore witness to his atrocities. With each passing day, the specter of his dark legacy loomed larger, casting a long shadow over the city of Lancaster County and leaving those who dared to remember haunted by the horrors of the past. But even as Afton reveled in his newfound power and the silence that surrounded his crimes, the echoes of his misdeeds lingered in the air, a reminder of the darkness that lurked within the hearts of men. And as he stood amidst the ruins of his once great empire, a solitary figure in a world consumed by shadows, he knew that his reign of terror was far from over, and that the horrors that lay hidden beneath the surface would one day rise again to claim their rightful place in the annals of history. As the years passed and the abandoned locations of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza lay silent and forgotten, a dark shadow loomed over the city of Lancaster County, PA. The disappearance of security guards tasked with safeguarding the remnants of Afton's dark legacy became an all too common occurrence, their fates shrouded in mystery and speculation. But it wasn't until one fateful night in the year 1993 that William Afton uncovered the chilling truth behind the disappearances that had plagued his abandoned empire. With a sense of morbid curiosity, he delved into the depths of the old security footage, searching for answers that had long eluded him. What he discovered was a revelation that sent shivers down his spine and filled him with a sense of dread unlike anything he had ever known. The missing children, the victims of his twisted vendetta, had returned from beyond the grave to haunt the animatronic suits that now lay dormant within the abandoned pizzerias. Their ghostly apparitions, twisted and tormented by the horrors they had endured, now roamed the empty halls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, their ethereal forms trapped within the cold embrace of the animatronic suits that had once been their prison. Their anguished wails echoed through the darkness, a haunting reminder of the sins of the past that could never be erased. For William Afton, the discovery was a chilling realization of the consequences of his actions, a grim testament to the darkness that had consumed him and the lives that had been lost in pursuit of his twisted desires. As he watched the spectral figures of the missing children wander the halls of his abandoned empire, he knew that he could never escape the horrors of his own making, condemned to a fate of eternal torment and remorse. And as the shadows closed in around him, William Afton realized that the true price of his crimes had finally come due, and that the ghosts of the past would forever haunt the halls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked within the hearts of men. In a desperate bid to erase the evidence of his crimes and extinguish the lingering specter of his dark legacy, William Afton embarked on a path of destruction that would leave Lancaster County, PA, forever scarred by the flames of his madness. With grim determination, he set his sights on Freddy Jr.'s and Circus Baby's Pizza, the last remnants of his once thriving empire, intent on reducing them to ashes and burying the truth beneath the rubble. As the fires raged and the buildings crumbled, the echoes of Afton's madness reverberated through the city, casting a pall of smoke and ash over the once vibrant streets. The flames consumed everything in their path, devouring the memories of the past and leaving nothing but devastation in their wake. For Afton, the act of arson was a final, desperate attempt to silence the voices of the dead and bury the secrets of his past once and for all. As the flames consumed Freddy Jr.'s and Circus Baby's Pizza, he watched from the shadows, his heart heavy with the weight of his sins and the knowledge that he could never truly escape the darkness that had consumed him. But even as the flames licked at the sky and the smoke billowed into the night, Afton knew that his efforts were in vain. The truth could never be extinguished, and the ghosts of the past would continue to haunt him until the end of days. And so, as the embers cooled and the ashes settled, Lancaster County, PA, stood as a testament to the horrors that had unfolded within its borders, a city scarred by the sins of one man and the darkness that had consumed him. And as William Afton disappeared into the night, his legacy of terror lived on, forever etched into the fabric of history as a warning of the dangers of madness and despair. In the dead of night, shrouded in darkness and cloaked in shadows, William Afton made his way to the original location of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, his heart heavy with the weight of his sins and the knowledge that he could never truly escape the darkness that had consumed him. As he entered the abandoned building, the air thick with the scent of decay and despair, Afton felt a chill run down his spine, a sense of foreboding that seemed to permeate the very walls around him. But he pressed on, his resolve unwavering, determined to put an end to the nightmare that had haunted him for so long. But as he prepared to set the building ablaze, a voice shattered the silence, echoing through the empty halls with chilling clarity. "You're the one who slaughtered us," the voice cried out, each word dripping with anger and accusation. Afton froze, his blood running cold as he recognized the voice that pierced the darkness. It was Cassidy, the lone survivor among the victims of his twisted vendetta, now standing tall in the spring Bonnie suit, her ghostly form illuminated by the faint glow of the moonlight filtering through the shattered windows. But before he could respond, another voice joined the chorus of condemnation, this one hauntingly familiar and filled with righteous fury. "You're the one who slaughtered us," it declared, the words resonating with the weight of truth and justice. Afton's heart sank as he realized the identity of the voice. It was Norman, his own son, the first victim of the bite of 83, whose life had been cut short by the tragic accident caused by his brother Michael's reckless prank. In that moment, Afton knew that he could no longer deny the truth of his sins, nor could he escape the consequences of his actions. The ghosts of the past had returned to confront him, their voices a chilling reminder of the horrors that he had unleashed upon the world. With a heavy heart and a soul weighed down by guilt, Afton bowed his head in shame, knowing that he could never atone for the sins of his past. And as the ghosts of his victims faded into the darkness, their voices echoing in the emptiness of the abandoned pizzeria, he knew that he was forever condemned to wander the halls of his own personal hell, haunted by the specter of his own depravity for all eternity. As William Afton stood frozen in terror, surrounded by the accusing voices of his victims, a sense of dread washed over him like a tidal wave, threatening to engulf him in its icy embrace. From every corner of the abandoned pizzeria, the spirits of the children he had wronged emerged, their ghostly forms illuminated by an otherworldly glow. From the shadows, Henry's daughter stepped forward, her presence a haunting reminder of the innocence that had been stolen from her. "It's you. You're the man behind the slaughter," she accused, her voice filled with righteous anger and indignation. Afton's heart pounded in his chest as he stared into the hollow eyes of the Chica suit, his mind reeling with the weight of his sins. And as he struggled to find the words to defend himself, another voice echoed through the darkness, this one belonging to Bonnie, the malevolent spirit of vengeance. "You're gonna perish," Bonnie declared, his words a grim prophecy of the fate that awaited Afton in the depths of his own depravity. With a cry of desperation, Afton fell to his knees, his pleas for mercy falling on deaf ears as the spirits closed in around him. "Please, no, I beg you, have mercy," he cried, his voice trembling with fear and regret. But his cries went unanswered, drowned out by the chorus of voices that surrounded him. From behind Spring Freddy Fazbear and Foxy emerged, their forms twisted and contorted by the darkness that lurked within the abandoned pizzeria. "Your sentence was sealed long ago," they intoned in unison, their voices echoing through the empty halls with a chilling finality. "You're several years too late, sir." And with that, the spirits of the children closed in around William Afton, their ethereal forms enveloping him in a shroud of darkness as he was consumed by the sins of his past. And as the flames of vengeance consumed him, the echoes of his screams echoed through the empty halls of the abandoned pizzeria, a grim testament to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. In the end, William Afton's reign of terror had come to an end, his soul condemned to wander the darkness for all eternity, haunted by the voices of the children he had wronged. And as the last embers of the fire flickered and died, the abandoned pizzeria stood as a silent monument to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls, a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked within the hearts of men. As William Afton's screams echoed through the empty halls of the abandoned pizzeria, the spirits of the children he had wronged exacted their final, merciless vengeance upon him. dragged to the very back of the building, to the place where the spring bonny suit lay in wait. Afton's cries for mercy fell on deaf ears as the vengeful spirits surrounded him. With grim determination, they forced him into the suit, the cold metal and twisted springs pressing in around him like a vice. Afton's screams of agony filled the air as the spring locks snapped into place, their merciless grip punctuating his cries with the sound of metal on metal. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the torment ceased. The animatronics released their hold on Afton, leaving him trapped within the confines of the suit, his fate sealed by the darkness that had consumed him. As he struggled to free himself from his metal prison, Afton's frantic cries echoed through the empty room, but there was no one to hear them. The spirits of the children he had wronged had abandoned him to his fate, leaving him to suffer alone in the darkness. With a final, desperate cry, Afton pounded on the door, but it remained steadfast, sealed shut against his pleas for mercy. And as he sank to the floor, defeated and broken, the darkness closed in around him, swallowing him whole as he descended into the depths of his own personal hell. Locked away in the back room of the abandoned pizzeria, William Afton's screams joined the chorus of agony that echoed through the empty halls, a grim reminder of the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. And as the shadows closed in around him, he knew that he would remain trapped in that hellish prison for all eternity, condemned to pay the ultimate price for his sins. As the restless spirits of the animatronics roamed the abandoned pizzeria, their desire for retribution burned like a fire within their mechanical hearts. No longer content to remain confined within the walls of their prison, they longed to unleash their wrath upon the world beyond, seeking out those they deemed guilty and exacting their own twisted form of justice. And so, under the cover of darkness, they emerged from the shadows, their mechanical forms illuminated by the faint glow of the moonlight as they set out to haunt the streets of Lancaster City. With each night that passed, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Spring Freddy prowled the deserted streets, their eyes burning with an otherworldly light as they searched for their next victims. Their presence cast a pall of fear and despair over the city, as rumors of their haunting spread like wildfire through the community. Those who dared to venture out into the night found themselves confronted by the terrifying specter of the animatronics, their screams echoing through the empty streets as they fled in terror from the horrors that pursued them. But for the animatronics, there was no escape from the torment that consumed them, no respite from the darkness that had consumed their souls. Driven by an insatiable thirst for vengeance, they continued their relentless pursuit of justice, leaving a trail of chaos and destruction in their wake as they sought to mete out punishment to those they deemed deserving. And as the nights turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the haunted streets of Lancaster City bore witness to the reign of terror unleashed by the restless spirits of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And though the city may have forgotten the sins of the past, the animatronics would ensure that justice was served, one victim at a time, until the darkness that had consumed them was finally laid to rest. Night after night, the streets of Lancaster City became a hunting ground for the vengeful animatronics of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Their mechanical forms prowled through the darkness, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light as they sought out those they deemed guilty of wrongdoing. As the moon cast its eerie glow over the deserted streets, unsuspecting adults found themselves ensnared by the relentless pursuit of the animatronics. Whether they were innocent bystanders or individuals with dark secrets of their own, none were safe from the wrath of the haunted machines. Those who dared to venture out into the night soon found themselves confronted by the chilling presence of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Spring Freddy, their mechanical limbs moving with an unnatural grace as they closed in on their prey. With each passing night, the number of disappearances grew, as the animatronics claimed victim after victim in their relentless quest for vengeance. For the residents of Lancaster City, fear became their constant companion, as rumors of the haunted animatronics spread like wildfire through the community. No one knew who would be the next to vanish into the darkness, their fate sealed by the merciless judgment of the spirits that haunted the streets. And as the night stretched on, the once vibrant city became a ghost town, its inhabitants retreating into their homes in a desperate bid to escape the horrors that lurked outside their doors. But even in the safety of their own homes, they could not escape the chilling knowledge that the animatronics were always watching, their eyes glowing with a malevolent light as they waited for their next victim to stray too close. As the disappearances continued unabated, the city of Lancaster became gripped by a sense of dread and despair, its streets haunted by the specter of its own darkest secrets. And though the authorities may have turned a blind eye to the horrors that unfolded under the cover of night, the truth remained undeniable. In the shadows of the abandoned pizzeria, justice would always be served, one victim at a time. As the months passed, the reign of terror inflicted by the haunted animatronics upon Lancaster City showed no signs of abating. Night after night, the streets remained shrouded in darkness, with the moon casting its pale light upon the deserted roads and alleys. The disappearances continued unabated, leaving the city gripped by a sense of fear and unease. Families huddled together in their homes, their windows tightly shut and their doors bolted in a futile attempt to keep the horrors of the night at bay. But even within the safety of their own walls, they could not escape the chilling knowledge that danger lurked just beyond their doorstep. With each passing night, the list of the missing grew longer, with adults from all walks of life vanishing without a trace. Some were known to have secrets of their own, while others were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. But regardless of their circumstances, none were safe from the relentless pursuit of the vengeful animatronics. The authorities struggled to make sense of the disappearances, their investigations hampered by the lack of evidence and the overwhelming sense of dread that hung over the city like a pall. Rumors swirled among the populace, with whispered tales of haunted machines and restless spirits haunting the streets at night. But despite their efforts, the truth remained elusive, hidden beneath layers of darkness and deception. And as the months stretched on, Lancaster City became a shadow of its former self, its once vibrant streets now empty and desolate, haunted by the echoes of its own darkest secrets. For those who remained, each night brought with it the chilling certainty that they could be next, their fate sealed by the malevolent judgment of the animatronics that prowled the city streets. And as the moon rose high in the sky, casting its eerie glow over the abandoned pizzeria and the haunted streets beyond, the residents of Lancaster City braced themselves for another long and terrifying night. As the first light of dawn began to creep over the horizon, casting long shadows across the deserted stage of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, an unexpected figure emerged from the darkness. It was Michael Afton, the long-lost son of William Afton, the man behind the reign of terror that had plagued Lancaster City for months. But Michael was not here as a victim. He was here as an avenger, determined to put an end to the nightmare that had consumed his family and the city he called home. With grim determination etched upon his face, he stood alone on the stage, a solitary figure surrounded by the remnants of his father's twisted legacy. In one hand, he held a lighter, its flame flickering in the pre-dawn gloom. In the other hand, he clutched a jerrycan filled with gasoline, its contents sloshing ominously as he stepped forward with purpose. The animatronics, sensing the presence of their long-lost brother, watched in silence as Michael approached, their mechanical forms poised for action but unable to move, as if frozen in place. With a steady hand and a heart filled with resolve, Michael poured the gasoline onto the floor of the abandoned pizzeria, creating a trail of flammable liquid that snaked its way through the darkness like a river of fire. And then, with a flick of his wrist, he ignited the lighter, sending a burst of flame racing across the floor, igniting the gasoline in a roaring inferno that consumed everything in its path. As the flames engulfed the abandoned pizzeria, Michael stood amid the chaos, his eyes fixed on the conflagration before him. The animatronics, their haunted forms bathed in the flickering light of the fire, watched in silence as their prison was consumed by the flames, their spirits finally laid to rest in the cleansing fire. And as the last embers died away and the smoke cleared, Michael turned and walked away from the burning wreckage of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, leaving behind the ashes of the past and the memories of the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. For him, it was a moment of redemption, a chance to atone for the sins of his family and the darkness that had consumed them. And as he disappeared into the dawn, his heart heavy with the weight of his actions, he knew that he had finally brought an end to the nightmare that had haunted Lancaster City for far too long. As the sun rose over the smoldering ruins of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Circus Baby's Pizza, and Freddy Jr.'s, Lancaster City lay silent and still, its streets littered with the wreckage of a nightmare that had finally come to an end. Gone were the days of laughter and joy, replaced now by the grim reminders of the horrors that had unfolded within the walls of the abandoned pizzerias. The once vibrant buildings now stood as monuments to the darkness that had consumed them, their charred remains a testament to the devastation wrought by the vengeful animatronics and the sins of those who had created them. In the aftermath of the fire, the city authorities descended upon the scene, their efforts to contain the blaze and investigate the cause of the destruction hampered by the sheer scale of the devastation. But even as they sifted through the ashes and debris, searching for answers amid the wreckage, they knew that the truth would remain forever shrouded in mystery. For the people of Lancaster City, the events that had unfolded over the past months would linger in their memories for years to come, a grim reminder of the dangers that lurked beneath the surface of their once peaceful community. And as they gazed upon the ruins of the abandoned pizzerias, they knew that they would never forget the horrors that had unfolded within their walls. But amidst the wreckage and despair, there was a glimmer of hope, a chance for a new beginning. For as the smoke cleared and the dust settled, the people of Lancaster City vowed to rebuild, to rise from the ashes of the past and forge a future free from the darkness that had consumed them. And though the animatronics lay silent and still, their haunted forms forever trapped within the ruins of their former homes, their legacy would live on in the memories of those who had witnessed their reign of terror. But for now, the nightmare was over, and Lancaster City could begin the long and difficult journey toward healing and redemption. As the years passed by, Lancaster County slowly began to heal from the scars of its dark past. The ruins of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Circus Baby's Pizza, and Freddy Jr.'s gradually faded from memory, reclaimed by nature as vines and weeds crept over the crumbling buildings. With each passing year, the wounds left by the reign of terror inflicted by the haunted animatronics began to heal, replaced by the steady march of time and the resilience of the human spirit. New businesses sprang up in the wake of the destruction, their presence a testament to the determination of the people of Lancaster County to rebuild and move forward. The children who had grown up in the shadow of the nightmare that had once haunted their city now embarked on their own journeys, their futures bright with the promise of hope and renewal. And though the scars of the past remained etched in their memories, they looked to the future with optimism and a sense of purpose. But even as Lancaster County moved on from the horrors of its past, there were those who could never forget the darkness that had once consumed their community. For them, the events of those fateful nights in 1983 and 1987 would forever remain a part of their lives, a reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present threat of darkness that lurked just beyond the horizon. And so, as the year 2016 dawned over Lancaster County, the scars of the past were still visible, a silent reminder of the nightmare that had once gripped the city. But amidst the echoes of the past, there was also the promise of a new beginning, a chance to leave the darkness behind and embrace the light of a brighter future. As the sun rose over the horizon, casting its golden rays across the landscape, the people of Lancaster County looked to the future with hope and determination, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And though the shadows of the past may linger, they knew that they would never again be consumed by the darkness that had once threatened to engulf them. As the years rolled by and the memories of the haunted animatronics faded into legend, a mysterious figure had been quietly gathering the remnants of the past. Obsessed with the dark history of Lancaster County, this unknown individual had been collecting old merchandise and artifacts from the abandoned pizzerias, piecing together the tragic story that had unfolded within their walls. And then, in the year 2016, this enigmatic figure unveiled their latest creation, Fazbear Frights, a haunted house and museum dedicated to the horrors of the past. With its eerie atmosphere and lifelike recreations of the old animatronics, Fazbear Frights quickly became a sensation, drawing in crowds of thrill seekers eager to experience the chilling history of the city firsthand. But as the staff of Fazbear Frights delved deeper into the wreckage of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they made a shocking discovery: a fully intact animatronic, hidden away amid the rubble. With its bright yellow fur and sinister grin, the animatronic bore a striking resemblance to the infamous Spring Bonnie, the very same suit that had once imprisoned William Afton. Unaware of the true nature of their find, the staff of Fazbear Frights proudly put the animatronic on display, eager to showcase their rare discovery to the world. Little did they know, however, that they had unwittingly unleashed a darkness far greater than they could have ever imagined. For within the depths of the Spring Bonnie suit, William Afton still lingered, his spirit trapped within the metal confines of his mechanical prison. And as the animatronic was unveiled to the public, Afton's malevolent presence stirred once more, his thirst for vengeance reignited by the sight of those who had dared to exploit his dark legacy. With each passing day, Afton's influence grew stronger, his twisted desires driving him to seek out those who had crossed his path. And as the visitors to Fazbear Frights marveled at the animatronic on display, they remained blissfully unaware of the danger that lurked just beneath the surface. For the man behind the slaughter had returned, and this time, he would stop at nothing to reclaim his rightful place as the master of darkness that haunted the city of Lancaster. And as the shadows closed in around Fazbear Frights, the stage was set for a new chapter in the nightmare that had once consumed the city. As tour after tour passed through the haunted halls of Fazbear Frights, whispers of strange occurrences began to spread among the staff. Guests would disappear without a trace, their absence unnoticed until the end of the tour when their companions realized they were gone. At first, these disappearances were chalked up to guests simply wandering off or getting lost in the maze-like corridors of the haunted house. But as the pattern continued, suspicions began to grow. No bodies were ever found, no clues left behind to indicate where the missing guests had gone. And yet, the staff couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister was at play within the walls of Fazbear Frights. Unbeknownst to them, Springtrap, the malevolent spirit of William Afton, lurked in the shadows, his twisted desires driving him to commit unspeakable acts of violence. Using his newfound freedom within the confines of the animatronic suit, he stalked his prey with deadly precision, luring unsuspecting guests into the darkest corners of the haunted house before striking without mercy. With each disappearance, the staff grew more frantic, their efforts to uncover the truth thwarted at every turn by the unseen force that haunted their every step. But try as they might, they could find no evidence of foul play, no trace of the missing guests except for the lingering sense of dread that hung heavy in the air. And so, night after night, Springtrap continued his reign of terror, his appetite for chaos and destruction driving him to commit acts of unspeakable horror. And as the shadows closed in around Fazbear Frights, the staff could only watch in helpless terror as the nightmare that had once consumed their city returned with a vengeance. For Springtrap, the man behind the slaughter, had returned, and no one was saved from his insatiable thirst for blood. And as the darkness descended upon Fazbear Frights, the stage was set for a final showdown between the forces of good and evil, with the fate of Lancaster City hanging in the balance. As the disappearances at Fazbear Frights continued unabated, the staff grew increasingly desperate for answers. With their surveillance equipment mysteriously destroyed and their suspicions mounting, they made the decision to hire a security guard to work the night shift, hoping that an extra set of eyes and ears would help uncover the truth behind the disturbing events unfolding within the haunted house. Unbeknownst to them, the security guard they hired would soon become the latest victim of Springtrap's relentless rampage. Assigned to patrol the darkened corridors of Fazbear Frights, the guard ventured bravely into the heart of the haunted house, unaware of the danger that lurked just beyond the shadows. But as the night wore on and the darkness closed in around him, the guard found himself confronted by the malevolent presence of Springtrap, his twisted form emerging from the depths of the haunted house to claim yet another victim in his quest for vengeance. Despite his best efforts to defend himself, the guard stood no chance against the relentless onslaught of the vengeful animatronic. With each passing moment, the grip of fear tightened around his heart as he realized the true nature of the horror that surrounded him. And then, just like those who had come before him, the security guard disappeared without a trace, leaving behind nothing but a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked within the walls of Fazbear Frights. For the staff of the haunted house, the disappearance of yet another employee only deepened the sense of dread that hung over them like a shroud. With each passing night, the nightmare grew darker, the threat of Springtrap's wrath looming ever larger on the horizon. And as the shadows closed in around Fazbear Frights, the stage was set for a final confrontation between the forces of good and evil, with the fate of the city hanging in the balance. But little did they know, the true horror had only just begun, and the darkness that lurked within the haunted house was far more terrifying than they could have ever imagined. As the night settled over Lancaster City, casting long shadows across the streets, a figure emerged from the darkness and made its way towards Fazbear Frights. It was Michael Afton, the long-lost son of William Afton, the man behind the nightmare that had plagued the city for so many years. With grim determination etched upon his face, Michael stepped through the doors of the haunted house, his eyes scanning the dimly lit corridors for any sign of danger. He knew the risks of returning to the place where his family's dark legacy had been born, but he also knew that he was the only one who could put an end to the terror that still gripped the city. As he ventured deeper into the heart of Fazbear Frights, Michael could sense the malevolent presence of Springtrap lurking in the shadows, his twisted form waiting patiently for his next victim. But Michael refused to be intimidated, his resolve unwavering as he prepared to face the darkness head-on. With each step he took, memories of the past flooded his mind, reminding him of the horrors that had unfolded within these walls so many years ago. But Michael pushed aside his fears, focusing instead on the task at hand, confronting the evil that had taken root in his family's legacy and putting an end to it once and for all. And then, at last, Michael came face to face with Springtrap, the embodiment of his father's darkest desires. With a fierce determination burning in his eyes, he squared off against the vengeful animatronic, ready to do battle with the forces of darkness that threatened to consume him. In the epic showdown that followed, Michael fought with all his strength and cunning, his every move calculated to outsmart his twisted adversary. And as the battle raged on, the fate of Lancaster City hung in the balance, with the outcome of their confrontation poised to determine the city's ultimate destiny. But even as the shadows closed in around them, Michael refused to give in to despair, his heart filled with the hope that he could finally bring an end to the nightmare that had haunted his family and his city for far too long. And as he faced off against Springtrap in the final moments of their epic struggle, he knew that he would stop at nothing to ensure that justice prevailed and the darkness was banished from Lancaster City forever. With a primal roar of determination, Michael Afton launched himself at Springtrap, his fists flying with ferocious intensity as he unleashed a relentless assault on the twisted animatronic. Piece by piece, he tore into the metal shell of his father's creation, determined to dismantle the embodiment of darkness that had terrorized the city for so long. With each blow, sparks flew and metal screeched, the sound of the battle echoing through the haunted halls of Fazbear Frights. But Michael pressed on, his fury unyielding as he tore through the animatronic's defenses with unmatched determination and strength. Springtrap fought back with equal ferocity, his mechanical limbs lashing out in a desperate attempt to fend off his attacker. But Michael was relentless, his resolve unwavering as he continued to chip away at the twisted monstrosity before him. And then, with one final, decisive blow, Michael delivered the finishing blow, tearing the last remnants of Springtrap's mechanical form asunder. As the animatronic collapsed to the ground in a heap of twisted metal, Michael stood victorious, his chest heaving with exertion as he surveyed the wreckage of his fallen foe. But even as the battle drew to a close, Michael knew that the fight was far from over. The darkness that had plagued Lancaster City for so long still lingered, and he knew that he must continue to stand vigilant against the forces of evil that threatened to engulf the city once more. With a sense of grim satisfaction, Michael turned away from the ruins of Fazbear Frights, knowing that he had fulfilled his duty as the protector of his city. And as he disappeared into the night, the people of Lancaster City slept soundly, safe in the knowledge that their nightmare was finally at an end. As the dawn broke over Lancaster City, the staff of Fazbear Frights arrived at the scene, their hearts heavy with sorrow as they surveyed the aftermath of the epic battle that had unfolded within their walls. Among the wreckage, they found Michael Afton lying on the ground, his body still and lifeless, his battle against Springtrap having taken its toll. With a sense of profound sadness, the staff realized that Michael had sacrificed everything to protect the city he loved. His bravery and determination had saved countless lives, but it had come at a cost too great to bear. As they gathered around his fallen form, they mourned the loss of a hero, knowing that his sacrifice would never be forgotten. But even as they grieved, there was a sense of peace in the air, a feeling that the darkness that had plagued Lancaster City for so long had finally been vanquished. For with Springtrap defeated and Michael's sacrifice made, the city could finally begin to heal from the wounds of its past. And though the scars of the nightmare would linger for years to come, the people of Lancaster City knew that they could take comfort in the knowledge that they had faced their darkest fears and emerged victorious. And as they laid Michael Afton to rest, they vowed to honor his memory by building a brighter future for generations to come. As the sun set on Lancaster City that evening, casting its golden rays across the landscape, there was a sense of hope in the air, a feeling that with courage and perseverance, anything was possible. And as they looked to the horizon, the people of Lancaster City knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, united in their determination to never let the darkness prevail again. In the wake of Michael Afton's sacrifice, the city of Lancaster found itself at a crossroads. Though the darkness that had plagued it for so long had finally been banished, the scars left by years of terror and tragedy still ran deep. But amidst the grief and uncertainty, there was also a newfound sense of unity and resilience among the people. Determined to honor Michael's memory and rebuild their city stronger than ever, the residents of Lancaster came together to support one another and chart a path forward. With each passing day, the wounds of the past began to heal, replaced by a renewed sense of hope and optimism for the future. As the months turned into years, Lancaster underwent a remarkable transformation. New businesses sprung up, breathing life into the once desolate streets, while old landmarks were restored to their former glory. And at the heart of it all stood Fazbear Frights, now transformed into a symbol of resilience and triumph over adversity. Gone were the days of fear and darkness, replaced by a spirit of community and camaraderie that permeated every corner of the city. Families gathered in parks and playgrounds, children laughed and played in the streets, and the once abandoned buildings of Lancaster found new purpose as homes and businesses flourished once more. But amidst the newfound peace, there were whispers of the past still lingering in the shadows. Rumors circulated of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena, reminders of the darkness that had once gripped the city. Some claimed to have seen ghostly figures wandering the streets at night, while others spoke of strange noises emanating from the ruins of Fazbear Frights. Yet despite these lingering fears, the people of Lancaster remained undaunted. For they knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, united in their determination to build a brighter future for themselves and for generations to come. And as the sun set over Lancaster City, casting its warm glow across the skyline, there was a sense of peace in the air, a feeling that no matter how dark the night may be, the dawn would always bring a new day filled with hope and possibility. And as they looked to the future with renewed optimism, the people of Lancaster knew that their city would always be a place of resilience, strength, and above all, hope. As time passed, the memory of the nightmare that had once haunted Lancaster City began to fade into legend. The stories of Michael Afton's bravery and sacrifice became woven into the fabric of the city's history, serving as a reminder of the resilience and strength of its people in the face of adversity. Fazbear Frights, once a place of terror and despair, was transformed into a beacon of hope and healing for the community. It became a gathering place for families and friends, a testament to the power of unity and perseverance in the face of darkness. And though the scars of the past would always remain, Lancaster City emerged from the shadows stronger and more united than ever before. The legacy of Michael Afton and all those who had fought against the darkness lived on in the hearts of its people, inspiring future generations to face whatever challenges may come with courage and determination. As the years went by, Lancaster City continued to thrive, its streets filled with the laughter of children and the bustling energy of its residents. And though the memory of the nightmare that had once gripped the city would never be forgotten, it served as a reminder of the strength and resilience that had ultimately led to its triumph. And so, as the sun set over Lancaster City one final time, casting its golden rays across the horizon, there was a sense of peace in the air, a feeling of hope and optimism for the future. For no matter what trials may come, the people of Lancaster knew that they would face them together, united in their determination to never let the darkness prevail again. And as they looked to the horizon with hope in their hearts, they knew that their city would always be a place of courage, strength, and above all, hope. As the final rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the city of Lancaster, a sense of peace settled over its streets. Families gathered in parks and squares, friends shared laughter and stories, and the bustling energy of the city echoed with the promise of a brighter tomorrow. In the heart of Lancaster, Fazbear Frights stood as a beacon of hope, its doors open to all who sought solace and healing. Within its walls, the memories of the past mingled with the laughter of children and the chatter of families, a testament to the resilience and strength of the community that called it home. And though the shadows of the past still lingered in the corners of the city, they were no match for the light of hope and unity that shone brightly within its streets. For Lancaster had faced its darkest hour and emerged victorious, stronger, and more united than ever before. As the night sky stretched out above, dotted with stars that twinkled like beacons of hope, the people of Lancaster looked to the future with renewed optimism and determination. And as they embraced the challenges that lay ahead, they knew that together, they would overcome any obstacle and continue to write the story of their city with courage, resilience, and above all, hope. And so, as the city of Lancaster settled into a peaceful slumber, the echoes of its past fading into the night, there was a sense of quiet triumph in the air, a feeling of joy and gratitude for all that had been overcome. For Lancaster City was more than just a place, it was a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, a shining example of what could be achieved when people came together in unity and love. And as the dawn broke over the horizon, casting its golden light upon the city once more, Lancaster awakened to a new day filled with endless possibilities and the promise of a future brighter than ever before. And as its residents set out to greet the day with open hearts and hopeful spirits, they knew that no matter what challenges may come, they would face them together, united in their shared journey toward a better tomorrow. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined Lancaster City, but the light that shone brightly within its people, a light that would continue to guide them forward, illuminating the path to a future filled with hope, joy, and endless possibility. And so, with hearts full of gratitude and hope, the people of Lancaster City embraced the dawn of a new day, ready to face whatever adventures awaited them on their journey forward. And as they walked hand in hand into the bright and promising future that lay ahead, they knew that no matter what trials may come, they would always find strength, courage, and above all, hope, in the city they called home. The end. As the years rolled by and the calendar flipped to 2060, Lancaster City had undergone even more remarkable changes. The once bustling streets had transformed into a bustling metropolis, teeming with life, innovation, and progress. Fazbear Frights had become a beloved landmark, standing as a testament to the city's resilience and the enduring spirit of its people. It had evolved over the decades, adapting to the changing times while still preserving the memory of the dark chapter in Lancaster's history. The haunted house had grown into a sprawling entertainment complex, featuring state-of-the-art attractions, virtual reality experiences, and interactive exhibits that told the story of the city's past. Visitors from far and wide flocked to Lancaster to experience the thrill of Fazbear Frights and learn about the legends that had shaped the city's destiny. But amidst the glitz and glamour of the modern age, the shadows of the past still lingered, casting a pall over the city's bright future. Legends of the haunted animatronics and the man behind the slaughter had become ingrained in Lancaster's culture, passed down from generation to generation as cautionary tales of the dangers that lurked in the darkness. Yet despite the lingering fears, Lancaster City had never been more vibrant or alive. Its streets were lined with bustling markets, gleaming skyscrapers, and bustling cafes, a testament to the resilience and tenacity of its people. And as the sun set over Lancaster City on a warm summer evening in 2060, casting a golden hue over its gleaming skyline, there was a sense of pride and optimism in the air. For the people of Lancaster knew that no matter what challenges may come their way, they would face them with courage, strength, and above all, hope. And as they looked towards the future with excitement and anticipation, They knew that the spirit of resilience and unity that had defined their city for generations would continue to guide them forward, illuminating the path to a brighter tomorrow for all who called Lancaster home. In the outskirts of Lancaster County, nestled amidst the rolling hills and lush forests, construction crews worked tirelessly on a mysterious new project. The air buzzed with anticipation as rumors swirled throughout the community about the enigmatic entity behind the venture. Speculation ran rampant as to who had purchased the rights and invested the resources to bring a new Freddy's to life. Some whispered that it was a wealthy entrepreneur with a penchant for nostalgia, while others speculated that it was a group of investors looking to capitalize on the city's rich history. Despite the mystery surrounding its origins, one thing was certain: this new Freddy's was unlike anything Lancaster had ever seen before. The building rose from the ground like a beacon of curiosity, its sleek and modern design standing in stark contrast to the dilapidated ruins of the old locations. As the construction progressed, whispers of new animatronics began to spread, sparking excitement and intrigue among the locals. No one knew what to expect from these new creations, but there was a palpable sense of anticipation in the air as the grand opening drew near. And then, finally, the day arrived. With much fanfare and celebration, the doors of the new Freddy's swung open to reveal a dazzling array of sights and sounds unlike anything Lancaster had ever witnessed. The animatronics, sleek and futuristic in design, danced and sang on stage, delighting visitors of all ages with their charm and charisma. As families poured into the new establishment, laughter and joy filled the air, mingling with the hum of excitement as guests marveled at the wonders before them. It was a moment of pure magic, a testament to the enduring appeal of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the indomitable spirit of Lancaster City. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the bustling scene, there was a sense of optimism and hope in the air. For in the heart of Lancaster County, a new chapter was being written, one filled with endless possibilities, boundless creativity, and the promise of a brighter future for all who dared to dream. As visitors stepped into the expansive halls of the new Freddy's, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight, larger-than-life recreations of every iconic animatronic that had ever graced the stages of Fazbear Entertainment. From the classic characters like Freddy Fazbear, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy to the more modern iterations like Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, and Ballora, each animatronic stood proudly in its own designated area, ready to entertain and enchant guests of all ages. The attention to detail in the recreations was nothing short of extraordinary. Every bolt, every wire, every movement was meticulously crafted to capture the essence of the original characters, bringing them to life in a way that felt both nostalgic and new. In one corner of the establishment, the playful antics of the toy animatronics captivated young visitors, their colorful designs and cheerful personalities evoking memories of simpler times. Nearby, the haunting beauty of the puppet mesmerized onlookers, its graceful movements and enigmatic aura casting a spell over all who beheld it. But perhaps the most striking of all were the spring animatronics, their presence a reminder of the dark history that had once gripped Lancaster City. Spring Bonnie and Spring Freddy stood side by side, their imposing forms a testament to the legacy of Fazbear Entertainment and the tragedies that had unfolded within its walls. As guests wandered through the halls of the new Freddy's, they were treated to live performances and interactive experiences that brought the animatronics to life in ways they had never imagined. From dance parties with Freddy and his friends to storytelling sessions with Circus Baby and her troupe, there was no shortage of excitement and wonder to be found at the new establishment. And as the night wore on and the stars twinkled overhead, the echoes of laughter and joy filled the air, a testament to the enduring magic of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the indomitable spirit of Lancaster City. For in this place of wonder and imagination, anything was possible, and the promise of adventure lay around every corner, just waiting to be discovered. As the curtains rose on the grand stage of the new Freddy's, a hushed anticipation filled the air. Excited murmurs rippled through the crowd as a new addition to the animatronic lineup was revealed, the cast of the Mediocre Melodies. With their quirky and endearing personalities, the Mediocre Melodies quickly won over the hearts of visitors, adding a playful and whimsical charm to the already eclectic ensemble of characters. From the lovable antics of Mr. Hippo and Happy Frog to the mischievous antics of Ned Bear and Orville Elephant, each member of the Mediocre Melodies brought their own unique brand of entertainment to the stage, captivating audiences with their charm and charisma. As the performances unfolded, guests were treated to a delightful array of songs, skits, and interactive experiences that showcased the talents of the entire cast. Whether it was a spirited dance number with Mr. Hippo and his friends or a whimsical storytelling session with Happy Frog and her companions, there was something for everyone to enjoy at the new Freddy's. And as the night wore on and the festivities continued, the animatronics of Freddy's and the Mediocre Melodies came together in a dazzling display of unity and camaraderie, proving that even in the world of entertainment, there was room for friendship and cooperation. For the guests who had gathered to witness the spectacle, it was a night they would never forget, a night filled with laughter, joy, and the magic of imagination. And as they left the new Freddy's, their hearts full and their spirits lifted, they knew that they had been a part of something truly special, a celebration of creativity, friendship, and the enduring power of dreams. As excitement buzzed throughout Lancaster City and beyond, anticipation reached a fever pitch with the announcement of two companion titles to the beloved animatronic-filled world, Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR. The unveiling of these groundbreaking video games sent shockwaves through the gaming community, igniting a frenzy of speculation and excitement among fans eager to immerse themselves in the thrilling world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. In Five Nights at Freddy's AR, players were thrust into the heart of the action as they embarked on an augmented reality adventure, where the animatronics of Freddy's came to life in the real world. Armed with only their wits and a mobile device, players had to navigate their surroundings, avoiding the sinister animatronics that lurked in the shadows and threatened to capture them. Meanwhile, in Five Nights at Freddy's VR, players were transported into a fully immersive virtual reality experience, where they found themselves in the eerie corridors of Freddy's abandoned pizzeria. With nothing but their senses and a VR headset, players had to brave the horrors that awaited them, solving puzzles and uncovering secrets as they delved deeper into the mysteries of the haunted establishment. Both games offered a unique and thrilling gameplay experience, with cutting-edge technology bringing the world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to life like never before. From heart-pounding scares to mind-bending puzzles, players were plunged into a world of terror and excitement, where every corner held a new surprise and every shadow concealed a new threat. And as the game soared to the top of the charts, garnering critical acclaim and adoration from fans around the world, it became clear that the legacy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was stronger than ever. For even in the realm of virtual reality and augmented reality, the allure of the haunted pizzeria and its enigmatic animatronics continued to captivate and terrify players, ensuring that the legend of Freddy's would live on for generations to come. As the success of Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR continued to skyrocket, fans marveled at the speed with which the games had been developed. Little did they know that the secret behind this rapid progress lay in a most unexpected source: the salvaged circuit boards from the infamous Springtrap animatronic. Behind closed doors, the developers at Fazbear Entertainment had worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets hidden within the salvaged circuitry, using the old codes and algorithms to expedite the game development process. With each line of code and every algorithm decoded, the games took shape before their eyes, bringing the world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to life in stunning detail. But as the games neared completion and excitement reached a fever pitch, whispers of the origins of the salvaged circuitry began to circulate among the development team. Some claimed to have heard strange noises emanating from the circuit boards, while others swore they saw flickers of movement in the shadows. Yet despite the eerie rumors and the occasional unexplained glitch, the developers pressed on, driven by their passion for bringing the world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to life in ways never before imagined. And as the games finally launched to widespread acclaim and adoration, the truth behind their rapid development remained hidden, buried beneath layers of code and secrecy. For within the heart of Fazbear Entertainment, a dark secret lingered, a secret that threatened to unravel the very fabric of reality itself. But for now, the focus remained on the success of the games and the thrilling adventures that awaited players in the haunted halls of Freddy's abandoned pizzeria. And as fans around the world immersed themselves in the virtual world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, little did they know that they were about to uncover secrets far darker and more terrifying than they could ever have imagined. As players delved deeper into the immersive worlds of Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR, they marveled at the lifelike structures and representations of the scenes of horror that awaited them at every turn. Unbeknownst to them, these chilling recreations were not merely the product of imagination or clever programming. They were vivid memories drawn directly from the mind of William Afton, the man known as Springtrap. As players navigated the eerie corridors and shadowy corners of Freddy Fazbear's abandoned pizzeria, they unwittingly found themselves immersed in Afton's twisted memories, experiencing firsthand the horrors that had haunted him for decades. From the sinister animatronics that lurked in the darkness to the chilling echoes of past tragedies that reverberated through the halls, every detail of the game was a haunting reflection of Afton's tortured psyche. As they unraveled the mysteries of the haunted establishment, players discovered clues and secrets hidden within the game world, piecing together the fragmented memories of Afton's dark past. Each revelation brought them closer to the truth, shedding light on the enigmatic figure at the center of the Freddy Fazbear legend and the atrocities he had committed. But as players ventured deeper into the depths of Afton's memories, they soon realized that they were not alone. In the shadows, the spirits of his victims lurked, their spectral forms haunting the corridors and tormenting those who dared to tread where they should not. And as players struggled to survive the nightmarish ordeal, they came face to face with the true horrors that lurked within the heart of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. For in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR, the line between reality and nightmare blurred, and the memories of William Afton became a chilling reality for all who dared to enter. And as players grappled with the darkness that enveloped them, they were forced to confront the terrifying truth that some memories are best left buried, lest they consume us whole. as players immersed themselves deeper into the chilling worlds of Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR, a strange phenomenon began to unfold. Certain players found themselves behaving strangely, their actions and behaviors taking on an unsettling resemblance to that of William Afton himself. At first, it was dismissed as mere coincidence, a side effect of the immersive nature of the games and the intense emotions they evoked. But as more and more players exhibited similar behavior patterns, concern began to grow among the gaming community. Players reported feeling a strange sense of detachment from reality, as if they were being drawn inexorably into the dark and twisted world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Some claimed to hear whispered voices and phantom footsteps echoing in their ears, while others experienced vivid nightmares that left them shaken and disoriented. But perhaps the most disturbing aspect of all was the gradual transformation that seemed to be taking place within certain players. They began to exhibit personality changes and shifts in behavior that were deeply unsettling, their actions becoming increasingly erratic and unpredictable. As rumors spread and speculation ran rampant, theories began to emerge about the true nature of the games and their connection to the enigmatic figure of William Afton. Some believed that the games were somehow tapping into Afton's dark energy, influencing the minds of those who played them and leading them down a path of madness and despair. But as the mystery deepened and the line between reality and fiction blurred, one thing became abundantly clear: something sinister was at work within the world of Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR, and those who dared to enter its twisted embrace did so at their own peril. As Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR continued to captivate audiences worldwide, their popularity soared to unprecedented heights. The immersive gameplay experiences offered by both titles drew players in droves, as fans clamored to experience the thrills and chills of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza like never before. With each passing year, the fan base for the games grew exponentially, fueled by word-of-mouth praise, glowing reviews, and the relentless hype generated by Fazbear Entertainment's marketing campaigns. Players of all ages and backgrounds flocked to the virtual world of Freddy's, eager to test their mettle against the horrors that awaited them within. But it wasn't just the gameplay experiences themselves that contributed to the explosive success of Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR. The games also sparked a cultural phenomenon, inspiring a plethora of fan art, fan fiction, merchandise, and even real-world events centered around the beloved franchise. Conventions dedicated to Five Nights at Freddy's sprung up around the globe, where fans could meet fellow enthusiasts, attend panel discussions, and even participate in cosplay contests dressed as their favorite animatronic characters. The games also spawned a thriving online community, where players could share tips, tricks, theories, and stories about their experiences in the haunted halls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As the years went by, Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR became more than just video games. They became cultural touchstones, beloved by fans and revered by critics alike. And as new generations of players discovered the timeless appeal of Freddy's, the legacy of William Afton and his haunted animatronics continued to endure, ensuring that the legend of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza would live on for years to come. As the success of Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR continued to grow, so too did the once humble pizzeria that had spawned them. What had started as a single building dedicated to the memory of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza had transformed into an expansive amusement ground that stretched for miles in every direction. The once abandoned and dilapidated pizzeria had been revitalized and expanded into a sprawling complex of attractions, rides, and experiences, all centered around the iconic animatronic characters that had captured the hearts and imaginations of millions. Visitors from far and wide flocked to the newly christened Fazbear Entertainment Complex, eager to immerse themselves in the world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and all its macabre mysteries. At the heart of the complex stood the grand centerpiece, a towering replica of the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza restaurant, meticulously recreated down to the smallest detail. Here, guests could dine on pizza and enjoy live performances by the animatronic characters they had come to know and love, creating memories that would last a lifetime. But the Fazbear Entertainment Complex offered far more than just nostalgic charm. From thrilling roller coasters and interactive exhibits to immersive virtual reality experiences and state-of-the-art arcade games, there was something for everyone to enjoy, no matter their age or interests. As the years went by, the Fazbear Entertainment Complex continued to expand and evolve, adding new attractions and experiences to delight and entertain its ever-growing legion of fans. And as it did, it became not just a place of fun and excitement, but a symbol of the enduring legacy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the indomitable spirit of those who had brought it to life. For within the walls of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, the memories of William Afton and his haunted animatronics lived on, reminding visitors of the dark and twisted history that lay hidden beneath the surface. But amidst the laughter and excitement, there was also a sense of hope and redemption, as the complex stood as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of imagination to overcome even the darkest of nightmares. And as guests wandered its hallowed halls, they couldn't help but feel that they were a part of something truly special, a place where dreams came to life and magic was born anew with each passing day. As visitors flocked to the expanded Fazbear Entertainment Complex, they found themselves irresistibly drawn into the immersive world of Five Nights at Freddy's. What had once been a casual interest quickly became a passionate obsession as guests were captivated by the charm and allure of the animatronic characters and the thrilling experiences they offered. Unbeknownst to them, the games Five Nights at Freddy's AR and Five Nights at Freddy's VR had subtly woven their way into the minds and hearts of the visitors, reprogramming them on a subconscious level to love the world of Five Nights at Freddy's. With each visit to the complex, guests found themselves becoming more deeply entrenched in the lore and mythology of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, forging emotional connections with the characters and the stories that surrounded them. Through clever use of immersive technology and interactive storytelling, the games had tapped into the primal instincts and desires of the human psyche, creating a sense of nostalgia, excitement, and wonder that kept guests coming back for more. And as they explored the various attractions and experiences of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, they found themselves falling deeper and deeper under its spell, their love for the world of Five Nights at Freddy's growing stronger with each passing day. But amidst the joy and excitement, there was also a sense of unease, a lingering suspicion that something was not quite right, that there was more to the world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza than met the eye. And yet, try as they might, the guests could not resist the siren call of the animatronic characters and the promise of adventure and excitement that awaited them within the hallowed halls of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex. And so, they continued to flock to the complex in droves, eager to lose themselves in the magic and mystery of Five Nights at Freddy's, blissfully unaware of the true nature of the forces that beckoned them forth. For in the end, the games had succeeded in their ultimate goal, to ensnare the hearts and minds of all who dared to enter the world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, forever binding them to its dark and twisted embrace. As the Fazbear Entertainment Complex continued to thrive, its creative minds set their sights on expanding their profits and appealing to an even broader audience. To complement the immersive experiences of the amusement park, they developed a series of spin-off games, each offering its own unique take on the world of Five Nights at Freddy's. Mangle's Quest invited players to navigate through a maze of obstacles as the beloved animatronic Mangle, while Chica's Party World offered a whimsical adventure through a colorful carnival filled with games and prizes. Balloon Boys Balloonery challenged players to test their skills in balloon popping contests and other carnival games, while Take Cake to the Children took players on a nostalgic journey through the early days of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But perhaps the most intriguing of all was the game simply titled Five Nights at Freddy's, which sought to make light of and cover up the dark history of the company. In this game, players were presented with a light-hearted and humorous take on the events that had transpired at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, with the tragedies and misfortunes of the past explained away as nothing more than internet rumors and urban legends. Through clever storytelling and tongue-in-cheek humor, the game painted a picture of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza as a fun and family-friendly establishment, where nothing untoward ever happened and all the animatronic characters were nothing more than harmless entertainers. It was a clever tactic to deflect attention away from the darker aspects of the company's history and ensure that guests continued to flock to the Fazbear Entertainment Complex without fear or hesitation. But even as the spin-off games and light-hearted narratives helped to bolster the company's profits and maintain its reputation, there were whispers and rumors that not all was as it seemed. Some players couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story than they were being told, and as they delved deeper into the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, they began to uncover the dark truths that lay hidden beneath the surface. Yet for most, the allure of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex was too strong to resist, and they continued to embrace the fantasy and excitement of the games and attractions, choosing to ignore the whispers of conspiracy and mystery that lurked in the shadows. And so, the Fazbear Entertainment Complex continued to thrive, its profits soaring to new heights as guests from around the world flocked to experience the magic and wonder of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But as the company basked in the glow of its success, there were those who remained vigilant, determined to uncover the truth behind the facade of fun and frivolity. For in the shadows of the amusement park, dark forces still lingered, their secrets waiting to be revealed to those brave enough to seek them out. And as the sun set on another day at the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, the echoes of the past whispered softly in the wind, reminding all who passed through its gates that not everything was as it seemed in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's. As the Fazbear Entertainment Complex continued to expand, new attractions were added to keep guests entertained and enthralled. Among the most anticipated additions were the introduction of the Rockstar and Glamrock animatronics, which promised to bring a fresh new energy to the beloved franchise. The Rockstar animatronics, led by the charismatic Rockstar Freddy, were designed to embody the spirit of rock and roll, with their flashy costumes and dynamic performances. Joining Rockstar Freddy were his bandmates Rockstar Bonnie, Rockstar Chica, and Rockstar Foxy, each bringing their own unique style and flair to the stage. Together, they wowed audiences with their electrifying performances and infectious energy, becoming instant favorites among guests of all ages. Meanwhile, the glam rock animatronics added a touch of glamour and sophistication to the Fazbear Entertainment Complex. Led by the glamorous glam rock Freddy and his fierce counterpart glam rock Chica, the lineup also included the sultry Roxy the Wolf and the swaggering Monty the Gator. With their flashy costumes and larger-than-life personalities, the glam rock animatronics dazzled audiences with their dazzling performances and undeniable charm, cementing their status as icons of style and sophistication. As guests flocked to the Fazbear Entertainment Complex to experience the excitement and spectacle of the new animatronics, the legacy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza continued to evolve and grow, with each new addition adding to the rich tapestry of the franchise's history. And as the animatronics took to the stage night after night, they reminded audiences of the timeless magic and enduring appeal of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, ensuring that the legend of the iconic characters would live on for generations to come. Despite their flashy appearances and captivating performances, there was something unsettling about the behavior of the rockstar and glam rock animatronics. Guests began to notice strange glitches and malfunctions during their shows, with the animatronics exhibiting erratic movements and unusual vocalizations. At first, these incidents were dismissed as minor technical issues, but as time went on, they became more frequent and pronounced. Some guests reported feeling uneasy or even frightened in the presence of the animatronics, sensing an underlying sense of aggression and hostility lurking beneath their glossy exteriors. Rumors began to spread among the staff and visitors, with whispers of mysterious occurrences and unexplained phenomena surrounding the new animatronics. Some claimed to have seen the animatronics moving on their own late at night, while others reported hearing strange whispers and laughter emanating from their empty stages. Despite efforts to address the issues and reassure the public, the unease surrounding the rockstar and glam rock animatronics continued to grow. Some began to speculate that there was something more sinister at play, that perhaps the spirits of the past still lingered within the animatronics, seeking vengeance for past wrongs. As tensions mounted and rumors spread, the once jubilant atmosphere of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex began to sour, casting a shadow of doubt and fear over the once beloved franchise. And as the truth behind the strange behavior of the new animatronics remained shrouded in mystery, guests were left to wonder if there was more to the story than met the eye. As the Fazbear Entertainment Complex continued to grapple with the unsettling behavior of the rockstar and glam rock animatronics, a dark secret lurked beneath the surface. Unbeknownst to the public, these new robots had been constructed using salvaged code from Springtrap, the infamous animatronic with a dark and sinister past. Though the true implications of this revelation remained hidden from view, those with knowledge of the complex's history couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. For in the world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, secrets had a way of resurfacing, and past sins had a tendency to come back to haunt those who dared to forget them. As the Fazbear Entertainment Complex teetered on the brink of uncertainty, the shadows of the past loomed large, casting a pall over the once vibrant and bustling establishment. And as whispers of the complex's dark history spread like wildfire, guests and staff alike were left to wonder if the nightmare of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza had truly come back to haunt them once more. Indeed, the ominous phrase echoed in the minds of those who knew the dark history of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. He always comes back, a chilling reminder that the sins of the past were never truly laid to rest, and that the specter of Springtrap still loomed large over the Fazbear Entertainment Complex. Despite the efforts to bury the truth and move on, the malevolent presence of Springtrap lingered like a shadow, ready to strike when least expected. And as the mysteries surrounding the rock star and glam rock animatronics deepened, it became increasingly clear that the dark forces that had plagued Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in the past were far from dormant. With each passing day, the sense of foreboding grew, as if the very walls of the complex held secrets waiting to be unearthed. And as whispers of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena continued to spread, it became apparent that the nightmare of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was far from over. For in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, the past never truly dies, it simply lies in wait, biding its time until the moment is right to strike once more. And as the shadows closed in around the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, those who dared to venture into its depths knew that they did so at their own peril, for the specter of Springtrap was always watching, waiting, and ready to claim its next victim. As the years passed and the Fazbear Entertainment Complex continued to thrive, a new and unexpected phenomenon began to emerge. Despite the seemingly harmless nature of the AR and VR games released by the company, a disturbing trend began to surface among those who played them. Reports started to trickle in of individuals who had become inexplicably violent and erratic after playing the games, exhibiting behavior that was unlike anything they had displayed before. These incidents were initially dismissed as isolated incidents, but as more and more cases began to surface, authorities were forced to take notice. Investigations revealed a startling pattern. Many of the individuals involved in these incidents had one thing in common: they had all recently played the AR and VR games released by Fazbear Entertainment. As suspicions grew and public outcry intensified, the company found itself under scrutiny like never before. Despite their best efforts to downplay the connection between the games and the violent behavior, the truth could not be denied. Something sinister was at play, and the Fazbear Entertainment Complex found itself embroiled in a controversy that threatened to tarnish its reputation forever. As the authorities worked tirelessly to uncover the truth behind the disturbing phenomenon, the legacy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza once again came under scrutiny. And as whispers of dark secrets and hidden agendas swirled around the company, those who had once reveled in the joy and excitement of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex now found themselves facing a chilling reality that the nightmare of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was far from over, and that the sins of the past were still haunting the present. Amidst the growing turmoil surrounding the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, a sense of unease settled over Lancaster County. As investigations into the connection between the AR and VR games and the violent incidents continued, tensions ran high, and the once jubilant atmosphere of the amusement park was replaced by an air of apprehension and suspicion. Meanwhile, rumors began to circulate among the staff and guests of strange occurrences within the complex itself. Visitors reported sightings of shadowy figures lurking in the dark corners of the attractions, and employees whispered of inexplicable malfunctions and disturbances within the animatronics. Despite efforts to maintain order and reassure the public, the situation continued to deteriorate. As more individuals fell victim to the mysterious phenomenon, fear and paranoia spread like wildfire, casting a pall over the once vibrant and bustling complex. In the midst of the chaos, a small group of individuals began to investigate the dark secrets of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, determined to uncover the truth behind the disturbing events unfolding around them. But as they delved deeper into the mysteries surrounding the complex, they soon realized that they were treading on dangerous ground, and that the answers they sought might be more terrifying than they could have ever imagined. As Lancaster County teetered on the brink of darkness, those who dared to confront the nightmare of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza found themselves drawn into a web of deceit and betrayal, where the line between reality and illusion blurred, and the true nature of the evil that lurked within the shadows remained shrouded in mystery. And as they ventured deeper into the heart of the darkness, they knew that they were risking everything in their quest to uncover the truth and put an end to the nightmare once and for all. As tensions mounted within the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, a sense of impending doom hung heavy in the air. Visitors became increasingly wary, their unease palpable as they wandered the halls of the once thriving amusement park. Rumors swirled like a tempest, whispered conversations filled with tales of sinister occurrences and inexplicable phenomena. Employees spoke in hushed tones, exchanging nervous glances as they went about their duties, acutely aware of the growing sense of dread that permeated the atmosphere. Despite efforts to maintain a facade of normalcy, cracks began to appear in the carefully constructed illusion of safety and security. Reports of strange behavior among the animatronics became more frequent, with guests and staff alike recounting eerie sightings and unsettling encounters with the robotic performers. As the tension reached its breaking point, a palpable sense of anticipation filled the air. Visitors gathered eagerly for the evening's performance, unaware of the darkness that lurked just beneath the surface. And then, as the animatronics took to the stage for their routine performance, a collective gasp rippled through the crowd. The familiar strains of music filled the air, but there was something different, something unsettling, about the way the animatronics moved. Their movements were jerky and erratic, their once cheerful faces contorted into grotesque expressions of anguish and torment. And then, in a chilling moment that sent shivers down the spines of all who witnessed it, the animatronics screamed out in unison, their voices a cacophony of agony and despair. "He always comes back," they wailed, their voices echoing through the halls of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex. And as the horrified onlookers recoiled in fear, they knew in their hearts that the nightmare of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza had returned with a vengeance, and that the darkness that had once been banished had now been unleashed upon the world once more. As the chaos unfolded during the malfunction, one brave employee, determined to restore order, approached Rockstar Freddy with the intention of disabling the malfunctioning animatronic. With careful precision, they reached out to access the control panel, their hands trembling slightly with nerves. But in a sudden and unexpected turn of events, Rockstar Freddy's glitching sensors misinterpreted the employee's actions as a threat. With a mechanical whir and a sharp snap, the animatronic's jaws clamped shut with tremendous force, ensnaring the employee's arm in a vice-like grip. The horrified screams of the employee filled the air as they struggled to break free, but it was too late. In a sickening crunch, the jaws of Rockstar Freddy closed with a finality that echoed throughout the room, severing the employee's arm in a grisly display of violence. Panic erupted among the onlookers as they watched in horror, frozen in shock at the gruesome spectacle unfolding before their eyes. The sound of sirens wailed in the distance as emergency responders rushed to the scene, but it was too late to save the unfortunate victim from the devastating consequences of the bite of 2087. As the dust settled and the reality of what had transpired sank in, a somber mood descended upon the Fazbear Entertainment Complex. The tragedy served as a grim reminder of the dangers that lurked within the walls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and of the darkness that continued to haunt the once beloved establishment. And as the authorities launched an investigation into the incident, they knew that they were facing a challenge unlike any they had encountered before, a challenge that threatened to unravel the very fabric of reality itself and plunge Lancaster County into darkness once more. In the aftermath of the horrifying bite of 2087, as the chaos and confusion reigned within the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, a chilling scream echoed through the halls. It was the voice of rock star Bonnie, but it carried with it an unmistakable tone of menace and malevolence. "I always come back," the voice cried out, sending shivers down the spines of all who heard it. In that moment, a sense of dread washed over the terrified crowd, for they knew all too well the sinister truth behind those words. It was Afton, the malevolent force known as Springtrap, who had returned to haunt the complex once more. With his twisted machinations and insatiable thirst for vengeance, he now held the lives of everyone within the complex in his grasp. As panic swept through the crowd, fear and uncertainty gripped their hearts, for they knew that they were now at the mercy of a madman driven by hatred and madness. With each passing moment, the threat of Springtrap loomed larger, casting a shadow of terror over the once vibrant amusement park. In the face of such overwhelming darkness, the brave few who dared to confront the nightmare of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza knew that they faced a daunting task. For they were now locked in a deadly game of cat and mouse with a relentless adversary, and the fate of Lancaster County hung in the balance. As the night descended upon the complex, the stage was set for a final showdown between good and evil, light and darkness. And as the echoes of Springtrap's chilling declaration reverberated through the halls, those who stood against him knew that they must fight with all their strength and courage, for the future of their world depended on it. As the chaos unfolded within the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, the animatronics, once beloved performers, became twisted instruments of terror in the hands of Springtrap. With a cacophony of grinding gears and mechanical whirs, they broke free from their restraints, their eyes glowing with an eerie, malevolent light. With a single purpose in mind, they descended upon the unsuspecting guests and staff with ruthless efficiency, their movements fluid and precise as they carried out Springtrap's bidding. From every corner of the complex, screams of terror echoed through the halls as the animatronics unleashed their fury upon their helpless victims. Freddy Fazbear and his companions, once symbols of innocence and joy, now became harbingers of death and destruction as they tore through the crowd with unstoppable force. Rockstar Freddy's booming voice echoed through the chaos, taunting his victims with chilling reminders of their impending doom. Bonnie and Chica, their once friendly faces twisted into grotesque masks of malice, joined the fray with equal fervor, their sharp claws and jagged teeth leaving a trail of carnage in their wake. Foxy, the cunning pirate fox, prowled through the shadows, striking with deadly precision as he hunted down his prey. And at the center of it all stood Springtrap, his eyes burning with a mad gleam as he reveled in the chaos he had unleashed. With each passing moment, his grip on reality grew stronger, his twisted desires fueling the nightmare that now consumed the Fazbear Entertainment Complex. As the screams of the innocent echoed through the halls, the once thriving amusement park descended into madness and despair. And amidst the bloodshed and chaos, the legacy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza lived on, a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked within the hearts of men and machines alike. As the mayhem reached its peak within the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, a new wave of terror swept through the chaos as the Funtime animatronics suddenly sprang to life. With a series of mechanical whirs and clicks, Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Ballora, and the others emerged from their dormant state, their glowing eyes fixated on their surroundings with an unnerving intensity. Unlike their predecessors, the Funtime animatronics moved with an eerie grace, their movements fluid and calculated as they navigated through the chaos with a sense of purpose. With each step, they emitted low, ominous hums, sending shivers down the spines of all who beheld them. Circus Baby, with her porcelain features and hauntingly beautiful voice, led the charge, her metallic tendrils extending ominously as she surveyed the scene before her. Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy, their sleek forms glinting in the dim light, moved with silent precision, their eyes darting about as they sought out their targets. Ballora, with her graceful movements and hypnotic dance, swayed gracefully through the chaos, her mechanical joints whirring softly with each step. And as the Funtime animatronics closed in on their prey, a sense of dread settled over the complex, for they knew that their arrival heralded a new chapter in the nightmare that now gripped them all. With the combined forces of the original animatronics and the Funtime animatronics, the Fazbear Entertainment Complex had become a battleground of epic proportions, a nightmarish arena where the forces of darkness clashed with the last remnants of hope and humanity. And as the final showdown loomed on the horizon, those who dared to confront the horrors that lurked within the complex knew that they must stand united against the tide of evil that threatened to engulf them all. For in the heart of the darkness, they would find the strength to fight on, to defy fate itself, and to emerge victorious against all odds. As the chaos within the Fazbear Entertainment Complex reached its crescendo, the security system, already strained by the unprecedented events unfolding, began to falter. With a series of ominous whirs and clicks, the monitors flickered erratically before suddenly going dark, plunging the entire complex into darkness. In an instant, the doors slammed shut, locking everyone inside with the rampaging animatronics and the looming threat of Springtrap. Panic gripped the crowd as they realized the gravity of their situation, their cries of fear and desperation echoing through the halls. Frantic attempts to override the security system proved futile as the glitch persisted, leaving them trapped in a nightmarish prison of their own making. With each passing moment, the sense of claustrophobia and dread intensified, as the realization dawned that there was no escape from the horrors that now surrounded them. As the animatronics closed in on their prey, their glowing eyes casting eerie shadows in the darkness, the survivors braced themselves for the inevitable confrontation. In the face of overwhelming odds, they knew that they must band together and fight for their lives, for their very survival depended on it. And as the final battle between humanity and the forces of darkness commenced, the fate of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex hung in the balance. For within its walls, a struggle of epic proportions was underway, one that would determine the course of history and the destiny of all who dared to venture within. As the darkness enveloped the Fazbear Entertainment Complex and the survivors braced themselves for the impending onslaught, a chilling revelation sent shockwaves through their ranks. This was no longer the malevolent force of William Afton, known as Springtrap. No, this was something far more insidious, far more sinister. From the depths of the complex, a new entity emerged, its form flickering and glitching with an otherworldly energy. It was no longer bound by the constraints of its programming, no longer shackled by the limitations of its creator. This was Glitch Trap, a twisted amalgamation of old code and Afton's most malevolent memories, a digital demon bent on wreaking havoc and destruction upon all who stood in its way. With each glitching movement, Glitch Trap exuded an aura of pure malice, its glowing eyes burning with an unholy fire as it surveyed the chaos that it had wrought. And as it set its sights on the terrified survivors, a cold, calculating intelligence gleamed behind its glitching facade, a reminder that this was not a mere machine, but a sentient being driven by an insatiable thirst for power and control. As the survivors scrambled to defend themselves against this new and terrifying threat, they knew that they faced an enemy unlike any they had ever encountered before. For Glitch Trap was not bound by the rules of the physical world, nor was it constrained by the limitations of mortal flesh. It was a force of pure malevolence, a digital specter haunting the corridors of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex with a singular purpose: to sow chaos and destruction wherever it went. And as the final battle between humanity and Glitch Trap commenced, the fate of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex hung in the balance. For within its walls, a struggle of epic proportions was underway, one that would test the limits of courage and determination, and determine the ultimate fate of all who dared to challenge the darkness that lurked within. As the battle raged on within the confines of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, the survivors fought valiantly against the relentless onslaught of Glitch Trap and its horde of possessed animatronics. But despite their courage and determination, they soon found themselves overwhelmed by the sheer ferocity of their digital adversaries. With each passing moment, the tide of battle turned inexorably in favor of Glitch Trap, its glitching form pulsating with malevolent energy as it unleashed wave after wave of terror upon the hapless survivors. Despite their best efforts to fight back, they were no match for the unstoppable force that now bore down upon them. As the last desperate cries of the survivors echoed through the halls, Glitch Trap emerged victorious, its dark laughter echoing ominously in the silence that followed. Humanity had lost, and the Fazbear Entertainment Complex had become a graveyard of broken dreams and shattered hopes. In the end, the legacy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was one of tragedy and despair, a cautionary tale of the dangers of playing God with technology and tampering with forces beyond comprehension. And as the darkness closed in around them, the survivors could only watch in horror as the nightmare they had unleashed consumed them all. As the authorities finally breached the defenses of the Fazbear Entertainment Complex, they were met with a scene of unimaginable horror. The once vibrant and bustling amusement park had been transformed into a charnel house of death and destruction, its halls littered with the broken remains of animatronics and the lifeless bodies of those who had dared to venture within. Armed with EMPs and full-auto gunfire, the police, state troopers, and National Guard forces moved swiftly through the complex, systematically neutralizing any remaining threats with ruthless efficiency. With each burst of gunfire and pulse of energy from the EMPs, the animatronics were rendered inert, their mechanical forms crumbling to the ground in a hail of sparks and smoke. But despite their best efforts, it was already too late. The survivors who had once sought refuge within the complex were nowhere to be found, their fate sealed by the relentless onslaught of Glitch Trap and its minions. As the authorities combed through the wreckage, their hearts heavy with sorrow and regret, they knew that they had arrived too late to save those who had fallen victim to the madness that had consumed the Fazbear Entertainment Complex. In the end, all that remained was a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked within the human heart, and the dangers of tampering with forces beyond comprehension. As the authorities began the arduous task of securing the area and conducting their investigation, they could only pray that the nightmare that had unfolded within the complex would never be repeated again. The events that transpired within the Fazbear Entertainment Complex on that fateful night would go down in history as the slaughter of 2087, a dark chapter in the annals of Lancaster County's past. As news of the tragedy spread, it sent shockwaves through the community and beyond, leaving a sense of disbelief and horror in its wake. In the aftermath of the slaughter, the once thriving amusement park lay in ruins, its halls haunted by the specter of death and despair. The authorities worked tirelessly to piece together what had happened within those blood-stained walls, but the truth remained elusive, shrouded in mystery and darkness. Despite their best efforts, the authorities were unable to provide closure to the families of the victims, whose lives had been forever shattered by the events of that tragic night. For many, the wounds of the past would never fully heal, as they grappled with the loss of their loved ones and the unanswered questions that lingered in the air. As time passed, the slaughter of 2087 would become a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers that lurked within the shadows and the importance of remaining vigilant in the face of darkness. And though the scars of the past may never fully fade, the memory of those who perished would live on, a solemn reminder of the fragility of life and the ever-present threat of evil that lurked in the world. In the aftermath of the slaughter of 2087, there was a collective sense of disbelief and confusion among the authorities and the public alike. The notion that Haunted Code could be responsible for such unspeakable acts of violence was beyond comprehension, challenging the very fabric of reality itself. With no clear culprits to apprehend and no tangible evidence to pursue, the authorities found themselves at a loss as to how to proceed. Attempts to dissect the complex web of events that had unfolded within the Fazbear Entertainment Complex only served to deepen the mystery, as the true nature of Glitch Trap and its malevolent influence remained shrouded in darkness. Faced with the enormity of the task before them and the sheer magnitude of the tragedy that had occurred, the decision was made to forego any formal court case or arrests. It was a recognition of the fact that the forces at play were far beyond the realm of human understanding, and that justice, if it could ever be achieved, would be served in ways that transcended the confines of the legal system. Instead, the focus shifted towards containment and prevention, as authorities worked to ensure that similar incidents would not occur in the future. Measures were put in place to monitor and regulate the use of advanced technology, with an emphasis on safeguarding against the dangers of artificial intelligence and digital manipulation. In the end, the slaughter of 2087 would remain a dark and enigmatic chapter in Lancaster County's history, a cautionary tale of the dangers of tampering with forces beyond comprehension. And though the scars of the past may never fully heal, the lessons learned from that tragic night would serve as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and humility in the face of the unknown. As the full extent of the danger posed by the games became clear, authorities moved swiftly to recall all copies of Five Nights at Freddy's AR and VR, as well as its companion titles. Recognizing the potential for these games to contain the same malevolent code that had led to the horrors of the slaughter of 2087, officials issued warnings to the public urging them to cease playing immediately and return their copies for disposal. The recall sent shockwaves through the gaming community, as players grappled with the realization that they had unwittingly become conduits for the very darkness they had sought to escape. Many questioned the true nature of the games they had once enjoyed, while others struggled to come to terms with the fact that they had inadvertently become pawns in a much larger and more sinister game. As the games were collected and destroyed, authorities worked tirelessly to uncover the origins of the corrupted code and prevent its spread to other platforms. It was a race against time to contain the threat and ensure that no more lives would be lost to the malevolent influence of Glitchtrap and its minions. In the end, the recall served as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked technological advancement and the need for greater oversight and regulation in the digital age. It was a sobering lesson for all involved, as society grappled with the implications of a world where even the most innocuous forms of entertainment could harbor unseen dangers. And as the dust settled and the last remnants of the tainted games were disposed of, the memory of the slaughter of 2087 would serve as a somber reminder of the darkness that lurked within the heart of humanity, and the ever-present threat of evil that could be unleashed with the click of a button. In the wake of the recall, a palpable sense of unease settled over Lancaster County. The once thriving community had been shattered by the events of the slaughter of 2087, and now, as the truth behind the tragedy began to emerge, residents grappled with the realization that their beloved amusement park had been a breeding ground for darkness and despair. As authorities delved deeper into the origins of the corrupted code, they uncovered a tangled web of deceit and manipulation stretching back decades. It became clear that Fazbear Entertainment, once a beacon of childhood wonder and joy, had been a front for something far more sinister, a shadowy cabal of individuals willing to sacrifice innocent lives in pursuit of their own twisted ambitions. With each revelation, the public's trust in their institutions eroded further, as they struggled to come to terms with the fact that those sworn to protect them had failed in the most fundamental of ways. Questions were raised about who was truly responsible for the horrors that had unfolded within the Fazbear Entertainment complex, and whether justice would ever be served for the victims and their families. Amidst the turmoil, whispers began to spread of a new threat on the horizon, a resurgence of animatronic activity in the abandoned ruins of the complex. Despite assurances from the authorities that the area had been secured, rumors persisted of strange lights and eerie sounds emanating from the derelict buildings, hinting at the possibility that Glitchtrap and its minions had not been fully eradicated. As tensions reached a fever pitch, a sense of dread descended upon Lancaster County, as residents braced themselves for whatever horrors the future might hold. For despite their best efforts to move on from the nightmare of the past, they knew that the specter of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza would continue to haunt them for years to come. And as long as the memory of the slaughter of 2087 lingered in their hearts and minds, they would remain forever vigilant against the darkness that lurked within. In the years that followed the recall and the revelation of the true horrors lurking within the Fazbear Entertainment complex, Lancaster County became a shadow of its former self. The once vibrant community now lived in the shadow of fear and uncertainty, haunted by the specter of past atrocities and the lingering threat of future ones. Efforts to rebuild and move forward were met with resistance and skepticism, as residents grappled with the trauma of their shared past. Many chose to leave the county altogether, seeking refuge in distant cities where the memories of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza could be left behind. For those who remained, life was a constant struggle against the encroaching darkness. The abandoned ruins of the amusement park stood as a grim reminder of the horrors that had occurred within its walls, a silent testament to the depths of human depravity and the fragility of innocence. Despite the best efforts of the authorities to contain the threat posed by Glitchtrap and its minions, reports continued to surface of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena in and around the abandoned complex. rumors swirled of sightings of shadowy figures lurking in the darkness, and whispers of malevolent laughter echoing through the night. As the years passed, the legend of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza grew, becoming a cautionary tale told to children to keep them away from the forbidden ruins. But for some, the allure of the forbidden proved too strong to resist, and brave souls ventured into the darkness in search of answers, unaware of the dangers that awaited them. And so, as Lancaster County struggled to come to terms with its haunted past, the nightmare of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza lived on, a dark stain on the fabric of reality that refused to be forgotten. And though the years may fade and the memories may dim, the legacy of the slaughter of 2087 would forever cast its shadow over the land, a reminder of the darkness that lurked within the human heart. As time marched on, Lancaster County slowly began to heal from the wounds inflicted by the horrors of its past. The ruins of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza stood as a grim reminder of the price paid for unchecked ambition and the consequences of delving too deeply into the unknown. Efforts were made to memorialize the victims of the slaughter of 2087, their names etched into plaques and monuments as a somber reminder of the lives lost and the families forever changed. But for many, closure remained elusive, as the true extent of the darkness that had engulfed their community continued to elude them. In the years that followed, a sense of cautious optimism began to take hold as new generations grew and flourished in the shadow of the past. The scars of the past remained, but they served as a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope in the face of adversity. As the sun set on Lancaster County, the ghosts of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza faded into memory, their legacy preserved in the annals of history for future generations to ponder and reflect upon. And though the wounds of the past may never fully heal, the people of Lancaster County would continue to march forward, their spirits unbroken, their resolve unwavering, as they sought to build a brighter future from the ashes of the past. In the aftermath of the tragedy, a new era dawned for Lancaster County. With the specter of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza fading into memory, the community rallied together to rebuild and forge a new identity from the ashes of the past. Memorials were erected to honor the victims and ensure that their stories would never be forgotten. Families came together to support one another, finding solace in the bonds of shared grief and the strength of their resilience. As time passed, new opportunities arose, and Lancaster County began to thrive once more. Businesses flourished, schools prospered, and the spirit of community that had been tested by tragedy emerged stronger than ever before. But amidst the progress and the promise of a brighter future, there lingered a sense of unease, a haunting reminder of the darkness that had once gripped the heart of the county. For while the physical remnants of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza may have been erased from the landscape, the scars left on the collective psyche of the community ran deep. And so, as Lancaster County looked to the horizon with hope and optimism, it also remained ever vigilant, mindful of the lessons learned from the horrors of its past. For in a world where the line between reality and nightmare was often blurred, it was only through unity, resilience, and unwavering determination that the light could truly triumph over the darkness. And as the years stretched out before them, the people of Lancaster County vowed to never forget the lessons of the past, to honor the memory of those lost, and to always strive to create a future where the shadows of fear and despair could never again take hold. And so, as the sun set on Lancaster County, a sense of peace settled over the land. The scars of the past remained, etched into the very fabric of the community, but they served as a reminder of the strength and resilience that had carried its people through the darkest of times. In the years that followed, Lancaster County would continue to flourish, its spirit unbroken and its resolve unwavering. And though the memory of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza would forever linger in the collective consciousness of its residents, it would serve as a testament to the power of hope, perseverance, and the indomitable human spirit. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, casting their gentle glow over the quiet streets and rolling hills of Lancaster County, the people looked to the future with renewed optimism and a sense of purpose. For they knew that no matter what trials and tribulations lay ahead, they would face them together, united in their shared determination to create a world where the nightmares of the past could never again take root. And so, with hearts full of hope and eyes turned towards the horizon, the people of Lancaster County embarked on a new chapter in their collective journey, a journey guided by the principles of resilience, compassion, and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found. And as they walked hand in hand into the embrace of tomorrow, they carried with them the lessons learned from the tragedies of the past, knowing that with each step forward, they moved closer to a future where the shadows of fear and despair would be banished forevermore. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined them, but the light that shone from within, the light of hope, of resilience, and of the unbreakable human spirit. And so, as the story of Lancaster County came to a close, it was not an ending, but a new beginning, a testament to the power of courage, compassion, and the enduring strength of the human heart. With the passage of time, the once haunted grounds of Lancaster County found peace. The shadows of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza grew fainter as new generations rose, their footsteps echoing with the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Memorials stood as silent sentinels, honoring the memory of those lost and reminding all who passed by of the fragility of life and the enduring power of remembrance. Families found solace in each other, their bonds strengthened by the trials they had faced together. As the years turned into decades, Lancaster County thrived once more, its resilience a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome even the darkest of days. The scars of the past remained, but they served as a reminder of the community's capacity for compassion and unity in the face of adversity. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden rays across the landscape, Lancaster County stood as a testament to the triumph of hope over despair, of love over loss. And though the story of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza would forever be etched into its history, it was not the end, but a new beginning, a chance to forge a future where the nightmares of the past could never again take root. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined Lancaster County, but the light that shone from within, the light of resilience, of compassion, and of the unbreakable human spirit. And as the stars twinkled in the night sky, they bore witness to the enduring legacy of a community that refused to be defined by its darkest hour, but instead chose to rise above it, stronger and more united than ever before.